Hey, listeners, welcome to another great episode of the Darren Green Show. I am your host, Darren Green. If you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already on YouTube, please give this video a like. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, give us a rate and review. Follow me at TDGS Media on Instagram and Twitter. And also subscribe to that Patreon page. I cannot say this enough. For $2 a month, you'll get access to ad-free viewing and more. And today, I have a guest. Pablo the Don is a music and culture critic based in Palm Beach, Florida, who uses their extensive knowledge about the music and culture to inform their audience through short form content and now podcasts. Here's Pablo. How are you?
Hey, I'm
Hey.
good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. Like, let me tell you something. First of all, how are you doing? Let's
I'm good.
just.
I'm good. I'm just chilling, just hanging. I'm
Mhm.
always good. Just out here.
Right.
Just out here.
How's your dog? Because I know we had text earlier, and you said,
He's literally staring at me right now on my bed.
uh-huh.
He's recovering, y'all. He just had spinal surgery. He slipped a disc in his back last
Okay.
Monday, and he's recovering right now. He's doing good. Thankfully, I have a little 30-pound French bulldog, and he's doing his thing right now. He's okay. He's okay.
Right. Hold on.
You're good.
I'm making sure that we're live. Okay, we're live on YouTube. Okay, there we go. No, because I looked at the thing, and I'm like, hold on. I know. Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Yeah. Could you check on your end to see?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me double check.
Right.
Yeah, we're up.
Okay, good. Because that's where, it's just showing up on Facebook. I'm like, I know we're not doing this. Anyway, I had no idea that this interview was going to be on Pride Month. Like, this is literally the first of Pride. Like, happy Pride, y'all.
I know. Happy Pride. If y'all want to donate, I'm always open for reparations in that regard. If you want to support gay people, I'm fine. My Cash App. No, I'm just playing. I'm always down for reparations, though. If you feel guilty enough, I'm always down for straight people to send me money, or white people, either one. I'll take either.
Send it over.
You both have been horrible to me, so I will take it.
Right. What do you have any plans for this month? I mean, I know this child. I don't even know what week one is. Is it going to be in LA? Is it going to be in New York?
So I'm in Florida. We have one of the biggest Pride festivals in the world in St. Petersburg, but I'm 4.5 hours away. And so there's one in my town of Palm Beach, and then there's also one in Miami. They're 2 different days, but I'm super excited to probably go to 2 or 3 because, there was no Pride last year. And so now I'm just like, what's that Lady Gaga thing on TikTok? Bus, plane, another bus, another plane. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do for Pride.
Okay. Well, we got Prince Derek Doll in the comments. Hey, that's my co-host.
Hey, hi.
Hey. Showing some love with the roses. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna go to NYC Pride. Like, I heard they was doing something. Like, they said it was gonna be like hybrid, virtual and on-site thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Florida's like, there is no such thing as COVID, so everybody just be out here. That's how Florida. I mean, I'm vaccinated, so I'm good, but like, Florida's like, just do what y'all want.
Hey, Derek.
What's up? How are you?
Florida. Yeah,
we out here. We really out here. Like, it's really scary. But also, I know there's been like a big thing on TikTok about what's acceptable and what's not.
Oh, the whole kink thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, bro, why are y'all trying to take y'all kids to Pride?
Okay, so we're on the same page because everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, like you shouldn't be showing this." And I'm like, in theory, I get it. Because there's a lot of youth. I know I had many friends that we were in high school, and they, he would go to Pride or whatever. I'm not gonna bring his name up. We go to Pride, NYC Pride. He'll take pictures and interact with other people, and they be in their underwear and stuff. Like, but I mean, I get it. I get where people are coming from, but like kids, though,
I feel like there should absolutely be because, like, being in the LGBT community now is being so much more widely accepted, and we see like young kids, younger and younger, being able to come out and accept themselves, and like their family being loving about it. I do think there is a space for there to be a kids version of Pride. Right. But I'm sorry. Okay. I stayed too long in the closet for me to be like, I'm gonna dial it back now because your kid's here. No.
Yeah, that's what it's giving off. It's like, oh yeah, dial back a little bit because
because a lot of, and what people don't realize is a lot of pride was founded by sex workers, people who were dominatrix, like kinks, literally people who perform kinks and things like that. So why are we asking the people who are the very basis of Pride Month and that were at Stonewall, like their ancestors, basically, to dial it back? Like, no, it was literally founded by people who did that type of work to survive. Like, and now we get to opt into doing that stuff for fun. Some people still do it for survival, but like now we get to opt into that. And now y'all want us to, like, no, if you want to be out there with nipple tassels, be out there with your nipple tassels. Like, it shouldn't be an issue. I don't see what the issue is.
Yes, there's always something to talk about. There's always something to talk about on TikTok.
No, literally, there always is. There always is. And that's the great, but like unfortunate thing about TikTok too. It just goes so quickly, like everything.
You're either this or that on TikTok. Like, it's really like, it's a whole nother, like,
it's a whole universe.
It's a whole universe.
Like, I tell people all the time, like, okay, on TikTok, I might have followers, but I ain't shit on Twitter. Like, I ain't shit. Like, if I get 2 retweets, okay.
Same.
I'm like, hey, but on TikTok, everyone's like, you love me so much. And I'm like, what is this?
Let me tell you something. Like, my thing was Instagram. Like, there was a time where my Instagram was booming. It was popping. Like, one year I accumulated over 200K likes. You know what I'm saying? In the course of, like, I think that was 2018. Algorithm change. So that's why when you were talking about this on TikTok, for the, we're going to get into the reason why you have gone into the podcast. I felt that because I'm like, I was making all this traction on Instagram, and now y'all changed the algorithm. Y'all making me pay for my followers to see my posts.
Like, it's so crazy how they try to, like,
and now they're doing it with TikTok.
It's just crazy how they try to, like, force you to spend money when the whole point of a lot of these social apps is I don't have the money, but I have good ideas, or I make good content and I just need people to see it. Like, I don't have the money to be paying to promote. And honestly, my content's too good for me to be having to pay for it. I'm sorry.
Right. No, I absolutely. That's why when I was like, dang, TikTok starting to do that now. I thought y'all was different.
I really was like, wow, like, don't get me wrong. I think racism is just going to be a part of like every app at this point. Like, until a Black person makes a booming app, it's going to be a part of every app. So I was like, it's not even content. I was just handling the racism that was going on TikTok. Like, I was accepting the fact that if I bashed white people, I would go viral. But if I talked about Black people in a loving way, it wouldn't. Like, I was just starting to accept it. Right.
Yeah.
And then they come out with this and it's like, dang, I can't even bash white people for views anymore. Like, what can I do now? What am I supposed to do?
Well, I did want to ask you this. Remember that video that you made about, I'm wondering if you remember me because I stitched your video about, remember when Nikki's LLC video was getting traction? I was like, nah, I love your content, but I gotta say this. We were streaming Queen. Like, that was crazy. I mean, I thought it was a surprise too. I was like, wow, y'all.
Like,
well, damn.
I always, because, okay, here's the thing. I thought people were streaming Queen because I was listening to Queen. It wasn't like, when anytime anyone says anything bad about Queen, I'm like, the only negative thing associated with that is just the rollout. The rollout was horrible.
It
was horrible. And I do think that's why it underperformed to her standards. Not even underperformed, just to her standards. But I agree with her on her point. When you start selling a Kardashian and a baby, like, what are you going to do about that? But my thing was more like, not like, it wasn't like, why didn't y'all stream then and why are you streaming now? It's like, are y'all bored? Like, are y'all? And then everyone in the comments like, oh, we're practicing. And then a week later, but a week later was the announcement that she was dropping something that Friday. Like, I'm like, so do y'all be knowing what she finna do? Like, what? Like, are y'all catching? Like,
there's a couple fan clubs.
Some secret exactly. I'm like, what is going on with y'all that y'all be knowing what Miss Minaj is finna do? Like,
us Barbs are crazy. But we love our queen.
Y'all are crazy. I have a very much a love-hate relationship with the Barbs, just because while some of y'all are very level-headed, a lot of y'all just are not.
I think If you were to talk to me like a couple years ago, yeah, I would say I probably was one of the level-headed bars.
Like, I just be like, I'll talk about Doja Cat in any video, and a bar would be like, but Nicki's the queen, though. I'd be like, I never said she wasn't. I just got to make some content on Doja Cat too, you know? And I'm like, they'll just be like, but I just want you to know, though. And I'm like, okay. Like, what do you want me to... Like, yeah, okay, I guess. I don't know what to tell y'all. Yeah, I agree. She is the queen. But I was just trying to talk about Doja Cat and how great the performance was. Like, and I think Nicki would agree with me.
I think a lot of barbs, they're really hard on Doja Cat. And it's like, y'all need to understand that, like, yes, Doja Cat is like very similar to how Nicki was more I wouldn't say authentic, her quirkiness, her craziness. Like, this was given, like, Doja Cat gives us, like, I wouldn't say Roman, but like, you know how Nicki was crazy back in the day with her. Yeah. My thing is, it's given very much nostalgia. That's why I really like her. I like her only with, because it's only top 3 right now. There's like Meg, Cardi, and Doja right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sweetie, if you want to, really talk. But like, out of all of them, like, Doja is the one. Like, she's very versatile and everything. Like,
No, she really is. Like,
Derek says, so Doja's the hair.
I'm sick. Doja Cat is right now the most versatile one. She is. She, like, just watching all the different performances she's done over the last year or so, I was like shaky on her for a minute there, mainly because of the chat room stuff. But to see what she's kind of like morphed into and turned into, like, I always liked her. Like, when she came out with Purr in 2014, I was like, okay, this girl's serious. But like, I always saw her more as a troll. And then I when Moo took off, I was like, if she capitalizes on this, she can be the biggest rapper in a couple of years. And she sure did. Like, the way she capitalized on the moment, I don't even know if anyone other than Lil Nas X has been able to do that. Like, I don't. Like, for this time period, I don't. But even then, I'm like, dude, I don't think there's a video or a song on her album from 2019. I think people forget that album came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that is not a hit. Like, I still be like, oh shit, Juicy's on this album. Like, and we're over here talking about Streets and Cyber Sex now. And I'm like, but Juicy is like the first single from that album. And I'm like, and that's such a great song. I'm like, dang, like, she's good.
Right. She is. We love Doja. But I did want to start talking about what because we talked about this earlier before we got into it. Your background with music. You said that you did, like, you wrote for music at one point in college, and you did like
I actually, like, I wrote in high school. Like, I want people to know I did write about music in high school too, sparingly, but I was also like always the person that DJ'd at my high school parties. Like, I would purposely like skip all other activities just to be the DJ. And so I like had a monopoly on the aux. Like, and this is pre like me actually DJing. This is pre me actually. This is me just like plug my phone in. I got y'all with all the hot shit. Like, that was me my last 2 years of high school. And I became known for being the DJ. And so when I went to college, what a lot of people don't know about me is I actually played basketball in college. I know it don't look like it now. It didn't look like it then either, but I promise I did. I played basketball in college, and I actually was going to major, and I did major for the first 2 years in physical therapy. I was just going to like give up any type of writing, anything. I was just going to be a physical therapist, whatever. And one of my best friend's sisters went to school. And when she went to school, I found out that they changed like the prerequisites for being a physical therapy. And it was like, you got to get your doctorate. And I was like, wow, I'm not going to have that much money. So no. And I actually ended up blowing out my knee playing basketball. And I had to have surgery. And while I was sitting there having surgery, I was like, I'm done with basketball. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm just doing it's too much. And I was like, so I don't want to go into physical therapy because I think seeing other people playing basketball would like, because I'm a Cancer, so would literally hurt my feelings because I no longer play. So my mom was like, why don't you go into journalism? You don't shut up. Like, why don't you just be a radio host or something? And then I was like, wait a minute. So I immediately like started searching online, like different schools, J schools. And then I went to FIU, played a year there of basketball, which again, didn't go well. And then just ended up finishing my career there and being a journalist there. And during that time, I wrote for like 3 different papers at my school, all about music. And I remember the first thing that ever got traction was when not Lil Nas X, but XXXTentacion passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a story about like how, and like looking back, it was kind of harsh, but how I just didn't perceive him to be a legend, and how I looked at like a lot of the mistakes he had accumulated as being things that could discredit him from being a legend. And looking back now, I wish I wouldn't have said that, but at the same time, it was valid. It wasn't not valid.
Yeah,
it was
people
valid.
were saying he was, oh yeah, that's the Tupac of this generation.
Yeah, no, that was too much. Like, I don't regret saying that he was not. He's not. He was not a legend. He is not a legend. But I regret kind of not accounting for, not even the timing. I regret not accounting for his life, like not accounting for how the man grew up and why these behaviors were probably persistent. And had he maybe had more time to grow up, get some therapy,
right?
That's what the fuck he needed. Excuse my language. Sorry. That's what he really needed. And grow up, maybe he would have become a better person. And I regret like just touting him as just a simple abuser. And because, yeah, he was that. But again, he died at 20. And knowing what I know now at 25 and how terrible of a human I was, I wish I wouldn't have said that, because therapy could have helped all of us.
Right.
And so then from there, I just wrote, I did a lot of content for my papers, and it would get pretty good traction at my school. People would talk about it and things like that. And then my last couple of semesters, I just was like burning out of music. I had done an internship over, I had done an internship at the Breakfast Club, quit early because I hated it.
No, hold on now, because now I used to always love. Okay, let me just say this: I loved watching the Breakfast Club at some point.
Yeah,
you know,
we all were like that.
Yeah. Because I also was into radio and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh my god, could you imagine like doing this every day? Like, they're not really working; they're doing their career."
Yeah.
As I got to get a little older now, and we hear about like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, because I talk about celebrity news and this recent situation with Charlemagne. Like, what was it like that short period of time you interning for them?
What I tell people is, number one, I wasn't really around them that much. I more so was at the station and interned in, like, I want to say like the sales or the finance department. Like, I was doing dumb shit.
They never put.
It was never like, I have a friend that's there now, and it's like they put like, they have actual interns for the show. Okay. I was not that. I was in like the sales and finance, but I was around them though. Like it was nothing to see them every day. And so I like got a nice bird's eye fly on the wall type of view of them. And the most I can really say is exactly how they come off on air is exactly how they are off air. Like it's just what it is. Like they are those same people. Whether you take that to be good or bad, that's up to you. At the time, I took it to be, well, at least they're consistent. But now I realize like all 3 of them have very harmful qualities about them, and I personally am not a fan of them.
Angela?
I mean, if we want to quote Kate Michelle, she's a bird. No, I'm just playing. No, but I mean, with her. In a way, being in the industry now, I understand the game that she literally had to play to be successful. But I look at it now and realize, like, if you would have had just like an inch more of a spine, like more women probably could have been successful. And so that makes me wonder, like, did you even want women to be more successful, or are you just in this for yourself? And I don't know her enough to judge her on that, but that's kind of how I looked at it. Like,
right.
Oh, if you would have just had like this much more of a spine in a lot of different situations, more women could have been successful. But I don't really know if that's what you wanted. And if that's not what you wanted, then whatever, I guess. But if that is, then you failed. Yeah. That's all I could simply say is you failed at that.
Yeah. And Envy, he did a whole, like, I had to, because at first, he was very neutral when it comes to, because I speak as a barb, that whole thing where he was like saying, oh, we're going to boycott her. We're not going to play her music, all because she was beefing with some other DJ that she was friends with. I was like, Envy, like he did a whole 180.
It's like with him, the thing I don't like about them, right, is that they don't understand their positioning and power. Like they have a stronghold over the I'm about to be over the hill demographic. So like from like 35 to like 45, 50, they're going to make their bread and butter. And a lot of the things that they say plays to that demographic not having to grow emotionally or spiritually or anything like that. Like, it's very much like the Shade Room just like posts suggestive things that encourage people to be homophobic or have people on the show that are homophobic or have people on the show that don't believe in colorism or that will gaslight guests and things like that. And I don't think they realize that they have that type of power to influence people like that. And I think they just use it wrong. And like, I know this year's their 10-year anniversary. I'm really hoping, or last year was, I'm really hoping the show's over after this year because it's just, as a number one, younger people need to be introduced into those markets and fields and things like that. That's number one, because they're becoming out of touch. And that's just what it is. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear Charlamagne interview anyone younger, like at NBA YoungBoy's age, because it's a different time period. Yeah. And like, even that with myself, I feel the same way. If I get up to that point after a certain time, I don't really know if I want to talk to little whoever, but I just feel as though they misuse their platform often. And when people try to correct them, they like are very like vile about it. Like, it's just, they're not willing to learn. They just are set in their ways. They also ask fucking horrible questions. And as a person who's an actual journalist, it bothers me because they sit up there and say, well, I'm not a journalist. I'm not a journalist. Why are you interviewing people then? Like, what is the,
isn't that not journalism?
Like, what are you, so tell me what tactics you are using to talk to people that you and I'm not saying that you have to be a journalist to be a good interviewer. You don't. But like, some of the stuff they do is very unethical in terms of journalism. And like, yet they're the people who get all the journalistic interviews and like moments and stuff. And they never have, never claim to, and never want to practice the skill. And that's upsetting.
They want to make the moments. I mean, it's the moment that's going to get on the Shade Room, that's going to get on social media.
That's all they want to do is be a viral whatever. And it's like, dude, like, you could really, like, I remember watching Chloe and Halle be on there last summer and thinking like, man, if I just had the opportunity to talk to them, there's so many questions I have, and we don't have to talk about Chloe's ex-boyfriend. I just want to talk about music, and to see people being like, oh, I want to talk. Like, I believe we as a society, like, the journalism world is kind of behind on that sense, where we think that like people only care about who you're dating and that's not necessarily true anymore. Like, I feel like on TikTok, I've cultivated a community where like people care about music, like, and actual music. People would love to know what Chloe Bailey is doing production wise, and they don't give a rat's ass about Diggy Simmons. Like, they want to know what she's doing, what's next for Chloe and Halle, like what's coming up. And they just sit there and talk about like them on Grownish. And I'm like, there's so much more material here that you could be giving to a wider audience. And you're just talking about a 23-year-old girl and her ex. Like, come on, bro. It's just so vapid. It's just so vapid. And it takes no skill to do that.
Yeah. I would like to see a change with the Breakfast Club. I thought they was going to stop because there was rumors that Charlamagne was going to stop because he started his little podcast network, and
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And even that's just, to me, all of that is just hilarious. Like,
I mean, that's what radio hosts really like. You know, the Howard Stern, like he was on radio, and now he's doing his own podcast. They can go in their own community, say whatever they want. That's
totally cool. Like, I'm doing that, but at the same time, it's just like when you're on syndicated radio like that, and this is what you're using your platform to do. Like, all right,
come on now, all right. A little bit more integrity.
But then again, I guess like, are people our age really listening to the radio? No, we're watching the clips on YouTube. So whatever.
Right. So I know you also say you critique culture as well.
Yeah, I do.
You be letting them have it on TikTok, and I just wanted to know your take, even though this is not really pertaining to music, but your whole take.
Ask me anything.
The Monique Bonnet situation.
Okay. So when I first saw it, it angered me. I'm not going to lie. But then I had to think about Monique, how she grew up, where she came from, and I understood instantly what she was talking about. And the only reason why I think I could relate, and I had to tell people in like my friend group, my group chat this, as a fat person, it is not easy walking through this world. And I don't think people consider that when they're critiquing Monique, because we like, even though I consider this casual wear, I do not have the luxury to get up on here and look less than presentable. Fat people do not have the luxury to walk through airports looking like they just rolled out of bed, because there's already a connotation with fat people that we're lazy, undisciplined, sloppy, and whatever. So, and I can only assume that Monique at her age has felt that so much in a situation. And with me, it's a little bit different because I'm also queer and non-binary, and like I'm not worried about other people because I'm more worried about TSA patting me down and me feeling like very dysmorphic about my body because it's not the way I want it to be. But for her, I think people don't consider, like, fat people don't have the luxury to look like that. Like, if a fat person wears a bonnet and y'all think we don't shower, like, that's literally how people in society think. If they see a fat person, they automatically think they smell, they don't shower. And it's like, bro, like, what is wrong with y'all?
So you're saying that's her point of view of it.
And I think that's how she's looking at it. Like, and not saying that the conditioning is right or anything. She was dead wrong for saying what she said. But sometimes I just got to ignore Auntie and mind my business.
Because Auntie don't always say the right.
Auntie don't always say the right thing. That's number one. Auntie is middle-aged at this point. Auntie grew up in a time where being fat was reprehensible. There was no body positivity movement for skinny people to fucking co-op. There was no accept yourself in the skin. It was lose weight or don't have a job. It was, so I understand the mentality, but Auntie was dead wrong because like, for me, a bonnet is a white girl's messy bun. So we gonna rule out bonnets. We ruling out messy buns.
We ruling out do-rags and dudes wearing sweats. Come on, they wear sweats like, all the time.
Do-rags have become like a delicacy. Like, white people are wearing do-rags now.
Okay. No, I seen this one TikTok. This person asking for permission. I'm like, child.
Not online.
So like...
But I would literally say not online. Like, wear that in the comfort of your own. There's some things that don't need to be on the internet, and white people wearing do-rags is one of them.
Oh Lord!
Like, do that at your house. Like there's a division line, sweetie.
Child. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love Monique. I respect Monique. I believe Monique is one of the most important people, not only to my life, but a lot of people's lives.
Because I was with her with the whole blackball thing. You know what, man? Screw Daniel, screw Netflix.
I'm with it. I was with it. I was gonna stand behind her. She was worth more than whatever they were trying to offer her.
Oh, of course.
But like, shut up sometimes, Auntie, shut up.
Right. I'd be like, oh my God, Monique.
They'd be like, Monique said something, and I'd be like, no, she did not.
She started this whole conversation. And everybody's saying, because there are some people that were saying, oh, well, I mean, she's not lying or this, that, and the third. But I'm like, it's at an airport. I could see if we're like an interview, job interview.
But even then, who is it not presentable for? White people? Is that what is that the measuring stick right there?
Right. Oh yeah, we present ourselves. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that us trying to present ourselves for white people? Because if so, we can leave that at home. Because I'm not walking a damn step in this world for white people to approve of. Like, I appreciate white people liking my content, but even people in general, I don't do a damn thing for anyone else. I do everything for Pablo.
And that's what it gave. It gave we want the acceptance from white people. Yeah.
It gave minstrelsy, honestly. It gave get up here and tap dance for master. That's what it gave me. And I just am like, no. So now I don't even got hair. I'm finna go wear a bonnet at the airport. And
that's what I'm saying. I'm about to look.
I'm finna wear a bonnet everywhere now.
Okay, it's an airport. Like, first of all, I have fear of planes. So if anything that's gonna make me feel any ounce of comfortability, okay,
it's gonna be a bonnet or a do-rag.
Okay, yeah,
it's gonna be, and y'all are just gonna be mad about it. Like, I don't know what to tell people, but you're just gonna have to be mad about it because I'm gonna do what I want to do. Right. That's number one. Number two, who gonna beat my ass about it? More importantly.
Well, she said she gonna tap my sister's shoulder and be like, "Sister." I'm like, all right, Monique. Look.
So again, who gonna beat my ass about it though? Because I don't put my hands on elders, but I will definitely look crazy.
Right, I'll be like, look, you better sit back, child. Anyway, let's talk about the Back Catalog podcast. For the listeners who may not know, what is this podcast going to be about?
So the Back Catalog is going to be an all-encompassing podcast just talking about music. I needed a bigger outlet to talk about music. TikTok was playing games with my platform and not letting people who follow me see it. There were people getting on there like, you haven't posted content. Sweetie, I post 5 times a day. Don't lie to me like this. So I was like, you know what? I've grown my platform enough. I'm not in the creator fund on TikTok. And it's time for me, if I'm going to be giving a lot of my time, energy, and effort to this, to at least be making some type of money. I'm not asking to be a millionaire off the back of this. I'm asking for like maybe like $100 a month off of this right now.
Right.
And so because TikTok wanted to play with me and my views and my content, I realized that there were platforms out there that would value me and what I had to offer much easily, and I don't have to pay for it. So I decided to make a podcast. Every week it's going to be something different relating to music, and we're just going to get on there. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a lot more engagement, and I hate calling people fans, but like supporter participation.
Right.
So people get more of a say on the content I make, because ultimately, even though I do everything for me and I want like the entertainment value is for me to be entertained, I do want people who spend the time watching it to also enjoy it. And so why would I not at least do some things that both they like and I like at the same time?
Okay. So hold on, let me see.
No, you're good. You're good.
Did you start recording any episodes so far?
Yeah, so I'm working right now on so I guess I should say every week is going to be something different. One week a month we're going to do something on the albums that came out that month. So I'll be reviewing some popular albums, and that's where the fan participation comes in, where people will get to suggest to me what album they want me to review or talk about. Okay. Like maybe I'll do 2 or 3 an episode, or for that episode. One episode in a month is going to be me having other artists or critics on, so we can just sit there and chat and like talk about different things, whatever. And or it'll be a like full-on fan, just me answering questions on whoever. Like I will accept, I'll probably either start a Twitter or an Instagram thing or TikTok thing where people can just ask me a bunch of questions about music, and I will try to answer as many good ones as possible. Right. Because I'm tired of talking about people's white faves. Then a third episode a month, which is actually going to be the first episode a month, is going to be a music history episode. So we talk about the different times in music, different things that people might not know. Like, I don't think anyone really has known about Quiet Storm Radio. I want to cover that. But that I also... Exactly. Okay. And if anyone's question, this is going to be very black. Like, this is going to be very, very black. So Quiet Storm type stuff, different time periods in music and how we got there. Like, and of course I'll have things like Britney's performance at the VMAs, or looking like things like that, just different times in music history where we all kind of like were like, whoa, that was cool, or it was like a trend that took over, things like that. And then the last episode of every month, except when we have 5 weeks in a month like we do in June, which is wild, I'm going to take one artist, whoever it may be. They just have to have more than 3 albums out, and go through their entire back catalog of music, review their entire career essentially, and tell y'all where the best album is to start with, to listen to, tell y'all what I feel about every album, and just go through that person's career and dissect it really well and really good, so you get a better understanding of this person and their career. So it's a lot of work. It's me by myself doing all this work, all the research, all the planning, everything like that. But I'm really excited. Too. Yeah, the editing too. I mean, I got to put my degree to work somehow. And because I got my degree in broadcast journalism. So
I know that's right.
Yeah, I was video editing and producing.
Look, I'm still in media arts. I got 1 more semester. I cannot wait.
Let's go. So yes. I'm going to be taking all that I learned, and also just all my free, like, I don't think people realize I've been doing this stuff like this, like on the internet. If people look hard enough, they will find videos of me from 7-8 years ago, of me trying to do all of this stuff 7-8 years ago. Like I've been had skin in the game. Like I've been trying to do this stuff. Right. TikTok just happened to come around and people started to pay attention. So to more of like what I was just doing. So I'm excited. Like I said, it's a platform for me to be able to make some sort of money on, and also more participation from people, and we just grow and we have a good time. That's it.
Now, one other question: do you have any, like, because you said you were going to interview artists? Do you have any artists that you have like actually booked or contacted with that you want to divulge, or is that still a secret?
A lot of it is still a secret. More so because of it's more so because of planning and things like that. I want to make sure that I do this right. I've had 2 podcasts in the past that were horrible, and not horrible. They were good for what they were used for, but I interviewed people on there that I didn't really care about their music and stuff like that. And I want to make sure, like anyone that I extend this platform to now, because it is a platform now, that I appreciate their music. I appreciate them as a person, and we have a good time. And so I've been reaching out to a few people, and a lot of people have said yes, not surprisingly, but kind of surprisingly. And it's going to be great. That's about all I can really say. There's going to be people you don't really expect to be on there. Like I didn't even realize how many people I had reached through TikTok until people in my DMs started asking me to be on. And I was like, yo, I'm a fan, like a big fan. And so, as we grow, we hope to get more and more people. Like, I mean, I do obviously have a dream list of people I would love to have on the show to interview and talk to. But I realized, like, for it to be valuable for them, I have to grow more. And I'm trying to make it so that way, more people just want to come on and just chat with me. Because at the end of the day, it's more about the conversation that I can have with the person than about who's listening. So I'm hoping more artists are more in tune with that. Like, oh, our spirits are kind of getting along. So let's chat. Like an hour chat with you would be fun, and not really concerned about what can this podcast do for me type of deal.
Yeah, like a promotional type thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got an album he's trying. Yeah.
Yeah, I like. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and place to promote an album. I agree.
Exactly.
But if we don't connect, I don't really want to talk to you though.
Right.
Like I don't care who you are. You can be Kanye, sweetie, and I love Kanye. But if me and him don't line up, I will never talk to Kanye on a platform, and I'm sure he would say the same. So like, it's things like that. Like I just want this to be very intentional, very correct, and very fun for everyone. Like I want this to be very fun at the end of the day.
Oh, well, Rajani King says so excited about the podcast.
Yeah. What's up? You're on my, there's a person from my TikTok. Thank you. You always are in my comments. Always in my comments.
Yes. Well, we love to see it. Well, first of all, this is going to be the new podcast that I'm going to be listening to. Okay. I cannot wait till it comes out. You talking about it and all the things that you said is going to have. I cannot wait to see it. Listen to it.
June 16th. You know what? People keep asking me if I'm going to do a visual component, and I feel like I'm obligated to let people know, no, not right now. Like I said, it's me doing all of this.
Yes.
And
you need to focus on the podcast because
exactly.
I started this podcast audio. I didn't do this. This is I'm trying to build a presence on YouTube now. So I just, as you can see, like I'm still trying to build everything up. But like, yes, you focus on how you want it to sound, and then figure out if you want to
do all the extra components. And then people have always asked me about Patreon and starting a Patreon. And like I said, I came from a world of doing free labor to get skin in the game. And I just cannot see myself asking people to do that for me. And so I do not want no unpaid interns. I don't want, if I have to do everything by myself, I will do it by myself until I get to a point where I can pay people a comparable price to come and help. And so a lot of people have asked me about that. And I just like, I will love to do a Patreon. If y'all show me overwhelming support on the podcast, I will do it. Y'all think I'm going to turn down a bag? No, I will do a Patreon and a YouTube if we get enough support through just this audio situation. And I know a lot of people have been asking me if I'm actually leaving TikTok too. I think that was probably going to be another question you had.
That was going to be one of the questions.
I mean, to go into that, yes and no. Like I said, with TikTok introducing that whole promote feature, I just will never, excuse my language again, I will never be that bitch. I can't.
It was a straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I won't be that person that feels like they need to pay for someone to see my stuff.
Yeah.
And so am I leaving? I still got some sponsorships to finish up and stuff. Like I've not finished everything I need to finish. But am I going to dial it way back once the podcast starts? Absolutely. And I think people have been seeing it recently. Like I posted 2 TikToks yesterday, took a 2-day break before that. Like I am slowly trying to ease myself out of it. Because again, I just don't feel like TikTok's being fair. And I feel like I've spent so much time, energy, and effort into that app, and and it's diminishing returns. So why wouldn't I take what I have to offer, because a lot of people see I have something to offer, and move somewhere else that at least will alert everyone that I put out a new podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and at some point, it's just disrespectful, because it's like, I'm paying you so my followers can see, because that's how the algorithm works. You know, they only show it to a couple of people that really listen to they'll really watch your stuff when it first comes out, and then if they interact with it, then they send it to the rest of your people, the rest of your followers or whatever. But then they said, oh, you can skip all that and just pay to promote so that they can see it. I'm like,
it's so
the promotion
cheap.
was for people that don't follow you. That's how it was that's how it was introduced on Instagram. You know, they show it to people that don't follow you. Now it's showing it to my followers. I'm like, I have over this amount of followers. Why am I paying for it?
It literally makes no sense. And I'm not gonna lie, like I look at everything through a critical lens, and I really do try not to bring race into everything if it doesn't need to be brought in. But if we're just being honest, race is like 85% of everything. So like, I'm like, how is this not racist? Like, are they not seeing, like, I've watched this app give, even though it's still racist, give so many Black creators platforms, some deserving and some not, for sure. But so many more Black people have gained platforms from this app. And now to me, it just seems like, oh, this is just going to be for the rich white people now. If you got money to spend, if you blah, 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 all these kids, mommy and daddy, can I swipe your card? People will watch my thing. I'll grow more, blah, blah, blah. I'll be more palatable and marketable. Like, that's what it's giving. And I cannot and will not be part of it. Like, I just absolutely not. I'll chop off a limb before I do that. I'll pull. Absolutely not.
I mean, and it takes away the authenticity also, because it's like we're manufacturing like popular TikTokers or whatever. Like it's not real. Like it's like, or, and I'm not saying that it's not real, but it's almost like cheating. Like if you got the cheat codes, you know.
And it is like, I was like the person, like when a thing started happening and I started getting sponsorship, I was the TikToker that felt weird for taking sponsorships, even though like I needed money. Like I felt weird. So like me paying for people to view this, I'm gonna feel even more weird. Like I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And like, I just feel as though, again, TikTok is the thing that made TikTok special. It made people want to join it, was that it seemed like there was a fair chance for everyone to grow a platform. It seems so fair.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there were some racist things going on, but it seems so fair. And so for them to introduce this, it does not seem fair. It seems like it is just a ploy to get more money. And even their entire situation with the creator fund, I left that because I realized that it was just a scam. Because in my opinion, like I know on YouTube, if you get 100,000 views, they pay you for getting 100,000 views. And on TikTok, it's not that way. And I think people don't realize that. If I make a video and it gets 100,000 views, that 100,000 views is factored into what everyone else did that day. And if that 100,000 views wasn't as impactful as the 30 million views that another creator got, I'm only going to see maybe, I don't know, 85 to 95 cents off of 100,000 views and like whatever. Yeah, it depends on what you contribute to the pie. Not like you got 100,000, this is your compensation for 100,000. It is, okay, you got 100,000, let's see what everybody else contributed and how much of a fraction you contribute to people being on the app at that time. Like, it's such a scam. And that's why I left the creator fund. So I tell people all the time, I make this content for free. Like, I'm not getting paid off of any of this. Like, I get paid for my freelance stuff, which I took a break from for a year. Like, I get paid from that and just doing odd stuff in my city, hosting gigs and DJing and stuff. I don't get paid from anything that I put on the internet. And now that I have this platform, I just look at it as, no, it's time for me to get paid for that.
It's time for, like, podcasting. If you got the platform, podcasting it could lead you to some fortune,
great opportunities. And even some people are like weary about the podcast. They're like, podcasts are oversaturated, blah, blah, blah. And I go, but that's where the creativity and if you like my content on TikTok, you'll like my long form content, because y'all like it on TikTok because it's so different from everyone else. So if I bring that different view and perspective to a podcast, it should give the same effect. It's just now you have more of it for a longer period of time. And so that's more why I'm excited. Like, I don't think people realize cramming in a bunch of information in 60 seconds is not easy.
So
I'm excited to have 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh, and however long you want. I heard the longest podcast. I think last episode we went on for 2 hours. I was like, Lord, that's because we had somebody else on, to do an interview. But yeah, and it's fun too, because I was gonna ask you, like, because usually TikTokers, they usually go to YouTube or another site when they get their followers. But obviously, you talked about your background and want to be like a radio host and stuff like that, so it makes sense,
Yeah, I did.
Same as me, like I wanted to be a radio host, and now podcasting. Hey.
My thing with YouTube that people don't consider with that too is it's so much more work than a podcast. Like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I know that podcast might be a little cheaper way out because I can sit in my pajamas, look crusty, and record or whatever. I know on YouTube there's a certain image of me I have to present.
Yeah.
And like, I know, like, and I tell people all the time, there's a reason why you only see my face on TikTok. TikTok already admitted they purposely hide fat people's content.
What?
They do, because to protect us from like the rude comments we might get. And I'm like, first of all, my mama ain't raised no bitch. I'm gonna drag all of y'all if you come for my way.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter. But also because like it just doesn't make sense. So you're gonna punish me for the body that I have, even though people are being rude about it.
Yeah, because it's affecting the views. Like, what? Come on. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they admitted it. You can Google it. TikTok hides fat people's content and it'll talk about it. And so I realized that a lot of people on the app, which I didn't know, don't know that I'm fat. It's so funny because they only see my face, and my face is chubby, but a lot of people's faces are chubby. Right. And so a lot of people didn't know I was fat until they saw my Instagram. And I was like, that's not my problem.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, okay. Like, okay. I'm sorry. Look, I'm gonna show my best feature, and I know my face looks good. Like, I don't know.
Well, you don't put me up on game, child. I make sure I'll be like, well,
no,
yeah.
Get your high angle going, and like, and make your TikTok like this, and have your nice little background in the back. No, it is. I did when I went to college. I got my degree in broadcast journalism, marketing, and music, and so I realized that marketing tactic immediately. And I hate that it's that way, but if that's what gets me to a platform, because I'm sorry, there's just no amount of body positivity that's going to stop people from being fat phobic. It's just a thing that people are. Yeah. So if I have to use just my face for a while to get to the point of where people will listen to me anyway, irregardless of what I look like, I'll play that game for a minute. There's not many games I'm willing to play, but that's one of them. That's just one. That's the one. That's the one I will play.
In YouTube, you do have to worry about a lot of things visually. You have to worry about getting a good camera. You got to worry about the lighting and stuff. I just got a ring light. We started doing the live shows, but like, it is kind of kicking me out. I got to do my hair all the time. I got to try to yo.
People be asking me why I wear a hat all the time. It's because my hair's not done, and I don't feel like doing it.
Hello, I gotta get the haircut every 2 weeks because my hair grow fast. So it's like,
no, under here is a mess. That's why I'm like, y'all always ask why I'm wearing a hat. This is why. So if any hat brands wants to sponsor me, I wear a hat to my dying days. Okay. But no, I mean, there's just certain things I think people don't consider when making content, and like, I am a person that doesn't believe in holding punches. I'm gonna tell y'all that the industry sucks. It does. It does. But like, I want to be in it. Like, it's just a thing. Like, I've always liked talking. I always like people. I don't want to be called an influencer. I hate that people call me that. I really do. I'm just a person who shares my opinions on the internet and gives different perspectives, and y'all like it sometimes, because sometimes y'all don't. And that's fine. That's fine. I think people think that like I want my opinions to be held overall. No, but I'm not going to let you disrespect me either, or disrespect the opinion with a lie. Like, I'm not going to like do it whatever you want. If you don't like somebody's music, you can comment that so the cows come home. I ain't going to be mad about that. But if you try to lie or discredit the opinion because you just don't like what I said, I won't be in that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
Well, we got a question. Yeah. Is that Antifa president? How do you feel about stan culture?
Stan culture is one of those things where, hold on, because I just realized there's a lot more people that could be in this right now. and I did not send them the link. So I'm about to drop them the link because they like talking about stan culture too.
Right. Yeah. I guess this will be the section where we answer questions. So please, if you're listening, please give us a question, and we'll try our best to answer it. But we're getting a lot of views. It's not showing up on here.
I see. Yeah, no. I see. I saw it on the thing. Yeah. I love that. Thank y'all for coming and supporting. Like I said, drop some questions because I definitely want to answer as many as possible. As much time as you have, I will answer whatever y'all want me to answer.
You know, we got all the time in the world.
Yeah, because I said on my TikTok, I don't talk about my personal life. I don't talk about my background often. So when I do things like this is like the time for y'all to come and like chat with me about any of this stuff. So I hope people take, hey, okay, everybody. My favorite person in the world, Shelby, is on right now. They are my boss technically at Behind the Rock Show, Girls Behind the Rock Show, and they let me come and write about a whole bunch of fun stuff. So please check out Girls Behind the Rock Show. Shelby, thank you so much for giving me my job because I love it. Yes. Support Girls Behind the Rock Show. It's an amazing place. Anyways, and that's where I'm writing everything right now. Anything that you see me write comes out through them, and it's amazing. So about stan culture, I was a stan. Like, I think I can say that confidently. I was a big stan. I was Beyonce. I'm beehived out. I was in the Navy. Like, I was that person. Did I ever have stan accounts? No. But I definitely was like that person that defended folks blindly. And it took me a while. Now, this is in my younger days now. This is before stan culture really had a thing on Twitter. And it was just like, we were super fans outside of. And so once I saw Twitter come about and I saw like people starting to galvanize on there, like the Swifties and the Barbs and, you know, now the Army, the BTS Army, and a lot of different K-pop groups, whether that be Blackpink or NCT, like it's crazy out there. I had to take a step back and realize that while stan culture is great for connecting, finding people that like things that you like and making friends, but at the same time, it could be so toxic. And yes. I just wish stans like, and me and a lot of people at Girls Behind the Rock Show talk about this so much. I just wish sometimes stans understood the power that they held, the things they could do in this industry. And as someone who's literally been behind the scenes of this for a minute now, like the things that stans have the power to do. And instead I look at them wasting it on your fave didn't chart or blah, blah, blah. Like instead of putting their, like, I be telling them, if just a couple of y'all got jobs within the industry or tried to get into the industry, you can help your favorite group or whatever. Like whether you're a writer or a producer or you want to be an editor, like there's so many opportunities for them. And I wish they understood their power and how they can help and also how they can keep their own fans and stand-ups in check kind of, because I always tell people the obviously the word stan came from the Eminem song. But what a lot of people and artists forget is the last line of that song, where Eminem is finally replying to Stan because he's been on the road and he's saying like, hey, Stan, I appreciate your support, but what you're doing is a lot. And I think you need to dial it back. And a lot of artists do not take the responsibility of what's going on with their fans and stans seriously like that. Like, I don't think they realize the power that are within their words and how a simple, I need y'all to calm down would help. Like, obviously you're going to have some outliers. There's going to be people, but the way that it'll be like so racist and homophobic and a lot of these stan things, like I've been the subject to attack of a lot of that. Like I've been doxxed a couple of times being on TikTok, which if y'all don't know, like people have tried to reveal my address and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Wrong person though. I'm the wrong person to do that to. I will just tell people that now. But like, I don't think artists take that type of, how do I put this? Like power into account. And I think it's truly because they think like, if I try to reel this in, I'll lose fans. And my question to artists about that is always, so you would rather your stans viciously and violently attack folk because you don't want to lose out on that? Like those are the fans you want to have. And I just don't understand that logic. And even me on TikTok, I have to tell people like, thank y'all for defending me. Like, because now anytime anyone misgenders me, because I am non-binary and I use they, them pronouns, people are like, that's not their pronouns. That's not their pronouns. And I appreciate y'all. But sometimes people get violent about it. Be like, hey, you can tell them that those are not my pronouns without attacking them or talking about their mother.
Keeping the followers in check, because artists do not know the influence that they have. There's people that got attacked and possibly killed off the who you talking about? Don't talk about my face. It gets real. It goes all the way back to what Biggie and Tupac.
I feel
with their fans and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like I watched one of my favorite people in this world, like one of my favorite writers. Her name is Wanna Thompson. I watched her in 2018 because she gave a critique of Nicki Minaj. Not a bad one, just a critique. Be attacked not only just by Nicki, who at that time was super defensive about everything, but Karen Civil and a bunch of other fans for no reason. Like, don't get me wrong, it gave Wanna a platform, and I'm sure she's like excited and happy about that platform, but at what cost to her mentally? Like, I really saw one of my favorite writers, someone who inspired me so much, kind of shrink, because it's not even shrink, just like, dang, like people just go in on them because of an opinion. And like, I just was always like, number one, don't try to shake people off their opinions. If people aren't listening, let that go. But number two, like, you don't have to talk about people like that, like, seeing what happened to that woman in the span of a couple of hours just like hurt me. And I was just like, I can't do, I'm not gonna be that person.
The Barbs, we gotta work on that. We're not all of us though, but it's some of them. It's them.
So with Girls Behind the Rock Show, we're trying to do that for y'all. Like, we're trying to like make sure put things in place to help y'all not only like foster a good and positive and helpful community for your artists, but also to help get y'all the jobs that y'all really want in the industry. And like go through programs to be like, yo, you're a certified good stan. Like, we love you. Like, you are helpful to your artists. You are a good person. And so I just want, like, I love stan culture. Like I said, I love the ground that it has breeded in terms of allowing people from different parts of the world connect. People have learned English because of stan culture. And I love that. I just need it to be a little, I need it to be less racist, less homophobic, and a lot more, we're just here to support the artist. And also, I need people to accept valid critiques. Like, when I say Taylor Swift is a white feminist, I shouldn't hear no backlash. It is what it is. It doesn't mean I don't like her music. It doesn't mean she's not talented. I love Sis down, but she's a white feminist. It just is what it is. And I want her to grow. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
We have another comment. So excited for my liege. How you say that?
My liege. They call me my liege. That's one of my pronouns.
Oh, okay. If you have time to speak about Tamina's body of work, So Into You is also one of my favorite songs ever.
So on TikTok, I first gaslit people into trying to guess my favorite song ever. And eventually I told y'all that my favorite song of all time is Tamia's So Into You. And the reason why is simply because that woman is such a, oh my God, she's so precious and so like deserving of like the platform that she had, and just one of the best like singers of the 90s. And there was so much like 90s R&B in the, like, there was just so much R&B in the 90s. Honestly, it was an overload, but the 90s was also that era where like you could have Tamia next to like a Green Day song, next to like Hanson, next to like Bjork, and it was just totally normal. Like, there was like anything could be a trend. Like, it was just fun. So with Tamia, the reason why that's my favorite song, number one, is the cutest, sweetest song ever. It's about her husband. It's about Grant Hill, the basketball player. And I love basketball. And that's number two. And number three, like, the woman, the way she would arrange her music is just one of like, it's just so amazing, man. Like, her entire back catalog is something that I definitely, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to start the podcast, is to talk about people like Tamia. She's very underrated. We know maybe 2 songs from Tamia, like, out in the general public,
right?
But like, Tamia has so much good music, and I wanted to bring light to that. Like, her, Shanice, like, people like that were big in the 90s for 1 or 2 songs, they deserve more attention and more love. And So Into You just like just did a number on me for whatever reason. And I just really appreciated it and loved it. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about Tamia. I don't know when that episode will be, but I'm just excited to talk about her. So yes, Tamia's back catalog is important.
So Cole Neal says, will back catalog be available on all podcast platforms? That is a good question.
Okay, so this is what I tell people about the podcast. I would like people, I'm going through Anchor with this. I would love people to support through Anchor.
Okay.
Simply because Anchor, they allow you to, like, they do all the advertising for you. They will send you people to like do ad reads for. And I love that because it makes it simpler, but also because they distribute everywhere. So yes, you can absolutely, I would prefer everybody to go through Anchor. Anchor is a free app, and but it's going to be distributed everywhere. So if you want to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, it's going to be there. But again, I would much rather people go through Anchor because the ad reads, and I can get $15 CPM. So I would prefer people go through Anchor, period. I would prefer people go through Anchor, but if you don't want to, I ain't going to be mad at you at all. Listen, you can listen on both. You could have one playing on Anchor and through Apple Podcasts if you need to. Anchor's free, but it'll be everywhere. I'm going to try to make it as available as possible. If there's an odd site that y'all don't know, just ask me, and I'll try to make it available there too.
Mm-hmm. Podcast, distributing it to other platforms is definitely a tool, because every couple months there's a new platform that says they stream podcasts, and it's like, is it there yet? Because recently Amazon Music and Audible just came out of nowhere. I just finally got my podcast on there, but
I just get concerned because my thing is like, all right, if I have 500 people that are going to listen to the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 100 of them are at different places, and only one of them pays you for ad reads. How, like, I'm not going to be able to monetize that much.
Right.
But if I try to drive everybody to one platform, then, that CPM gets hit more easily because everybody's here. And like, that's why I said Anchor, because it's free for everyone. Like, everyone can get access to Anchor. You can go on anchor.com and it's there.
Right.
Or anchor.fm, whatever it is. And
I do have a question about, are you going to be using actual music pieces on the show?
So I'm going to try my best, but copyright is such an issue.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try my best to get around it. And I've been able to, for the most part, through Anchor. If I go through Anchor, I could get around it. Anchor doesn't really clock you for copyright.
Yeah, because there's a couple of sites. The site that I use Spreaker, which offers actual ads that will interface on all platforms. So like when you're listening, that's why I said when you subscribe to the Patreon, if you want to listen to ad-free viewing, if you listen to my podcast, you're going to get about like 3 ads, about YouTube standard ad, through an hour-long show, and you can actually your platform, you can.
No, we're gonna have to speak about that afterwards.
Yeah, no, we definitely.
I need the tea.
Anchor, getting for real. Let me tell you something. Anchor, I love Anchor. I just heard a lot of crazy stories about them before. Like,
that's true. We'll
talk off the record.
Yeah, I more so would like. All right, so like some of my favorite podcasts, the episodes themselves get sponsored, and if I could do that, like if I could pull like a sponsor,
like a baked in,
yeah, like a sponsor for an episode, I would much rather do that than me having to go through Anchor or wherever. I'd much rather do it that way, but I just feel like that comes later down the line. And maybe not right now. I don't know, because honestly, I've been approached by doing some crazy stuff lately. But I'd rather someone sponsoring a whole episode or a couple of episodes. Like, I'm trying to get that money up. And so maybe you have to sit through a ad or two or whatever. But I mean, I'm open for anything. I always tell people, like, suggestions, I'll always take suggestions. Like if anyone wants to suggest anything to me about whatever, I'm totally fine with that too. Totally fine.
But and just just give you some food for thought, because
I'm totally down.
Yeah. Let's go to another. We have another question from the Silver Site Network. Do you feel like artists should try to stop their fans? I think they have a responsibility to at least stop them from being toxic.
I just feel like they should say something. Like when I saw, and I hate to bring her up, but it's just the most recent one. When I saw Taylor Swift not say anything about her fans attacking the Black actress from Jenny and Georgia, who said that horrible line that the Jenny and Georgia writers wrote, it just bothered me because, again, it goes back to the point of she's a white feminist and her feminism is very self-serving. And so when she was being attacked, it was, that's very sexist. That can't happen. But when a Black woman is being attacked or a person of color is being attacked, it's like crickets. And a lot of fans' excuses was, well, Taylor's not on the internet like that, blah, blah. I said, okay, that's fine. Maybe Taylor isn't, but her team is. Her team sees what's going on with this. They know that if Taylor tweets from that account, it's going to be trending. It's going to be a firestorm. It's going to be a thing. So why are people not monitoring at minimum, what's going on? They are. Don't let these artists lie to you. This whole, I don't be on the internet.
Right. Yeah. I have my assistant child.
First of all, you have burner accounts. Shut up. Okay. We all have burner accounts. Shut up. You definitely got burner accounts. That's number one. Number two, if you're not on the internet, someone on your team is. Because y'all are narcissists. Y'all have to know about yourselves constantly. It takes a certain level of ego to think you deserve to be in music or whatever. Even I have one about what I'm doing. It takes a certain level of ego to think people should listen to you. And I agree. Yeah. So if you're not on the internet, if it's too overwhelming seeing the negativity and things, someone on your team is on the internet. And I know they see what's going on. And the fact that a lot of them do nothing to stop it means that either one, they agreed, two, they're afraid to lose their fans, or three, they just don't care. Yeah. And all I'm saying is be upfront and honest. If you don't care about someone being attacked, just say that. Like, I just feel like honesty is the best policy when it comes to this thing. And it honestly will stop people from getting whatever they call cancel, even though cancel culture is a myth. I just want people to be honest about how they feel. If you're just here for the money, bro, ain't nobody mad at you. Just say that though. Just say that. Just say
right. Cause, and I also, this is on a smaller, cause no one's getting attacked or anything like that. This is between another celebrity, but like, when Lil Nas X came out with his When the Sun Goes Down song, and he mentioned Nicki in there, and the Barbs was just like, oh my God, why did you mention Nicki like you're trying to get a feature or you're trying to look for clout, always bringing up her name? Like, Nicki was a part of his life growing up, and I'm so related to Lil Nas X in that aspect, because I remember back in the day there's certain spaces that I were in where I would lie about my favorite rapper just so people wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, he's gay, or let's attack him, or let's say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be like, oh yeah, my favorite rapper's like Drake or Lil Wayne or something like that, when really it was Nicki. you get what I'm saying?
You say the default answer.
Because you didn't want, and I felt bad because I'm like, oh my God, like I should be proud that I love Nicki, but now I am. But I'm just saying, like, I just didn't want people to know about that part of my life, and that's exactly what Lil Nas X went through.
I feel like it's so crazy that like stans do that too, because it's like, bro, y'all don't think the same feelings that y'all felt is the same feelings he felt about Nicki? Like, the man had a stan account, Like, the man had a stan account. Are y'all serious? Like, are y'all serious? Like,
a stan account, Nas Mirage.
Yes, the same way that Nicki did a lot for y'all, she did a lot for him. And I think he should be able to express that feeling, because, and I don't think it's asking for a feature or anything like that. He apologized for like kind of denouncing or removing himself from her. And honestly, like, it's really, if I'm being frank and honest, it's really none of y'all business either. Like, it really ain't. Whether he, like, that's something between him and Nicki. Like, and she said that hurt her feelings. And he said, you know what? I understand. And I'm really sorry for that. And I just was at a point in my life. Like, I'm like, do a lot of y'all not understand how difficult, like, being in the closet that, like, is, or whatever? Like,
yeah. Like, I mean, it's a lot. Like, you don't want people to know, because for me, growing up where I grew up, I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. Okay. I've been street harassed multiple times, and I couldn't say nothing because it was 5 people and it was only one of me. I'm trying to get home and not be beat up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you had to, I had to put on a mask so that I can protect myself in some instances. He was trying to grow as an artist. he at one point did not want people to know that he was gay.
It's literally self-preservation.
Yeah.
Sorry if I want to survive. Like,
and some people don't have that some people don't have that, they always grew up and, it's whatever, they never had to deal with actual real conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you do, it's different. And I feel like them attacking him also because I just know how many gay men are barbs.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, how do y'all not understand? Like, how are y'all not understanding?
Don't act like a lot about y'all favorite rap artist child. Just
like we all did.
A bunch of men in the room.
Like,
if you say Nikki,
you at the barbershop. You at the barbershop. Be like, who's your favorite?
Come on
like,
come on now.
Who's your favorite? Aaliyah. Aaliyah, what's up?
Hey.
That's one of my Girls Band on the Rock show colleagues, and we both work on the video team as well. And so, what's up, Aaliyah?
And Teacher President also asked, do y'all do any of y'all manifest?
Oh,
I don't know what that is. I know what it is, but it's like, so it's basically you're just saying to yourself, this is going to happen, and then apparently it happens.
I look at manifestation in a different way, and I learned this through a lot of different methods, honestly. More like trial and error. I don't look at manifestation as saying like I'm going to be this or I will be this. I always like to say I am this already. So like I just be like, you know what, I am important. I am my opinions are valuable. People like my opinions. I am like I just already speak it. I try not to be like I will be, because why are we waiting on the future? Yeah, like why are we waiting on the future to say these things? Like, no, I'm not saying don't live in reality. Like just because I say I am a millionaire, my bank account definitely lets me know otherwise. But if I say it right now, eventually it's gonna happen.
Right.
I am a millionaire. I have to have a millionaire mindset or whatever. And that sounds so very much MLM. I promise I'm not in no MLM, y'all. I'm not in no multi-level marketing. I don't sell no essential oils. I don't do none of that. I'm sorry. I promise I'm not a hashtag girl boss. I promise. But what I am saying is that I like to think of myself in the present. Like, one of my biggest things for the longest time has been, I'm going to, or I want to move to LA. I'm from Florida, but I want to, Lily, I love you too. I want to move to LA. I want to move to LA. I want to move. And I realized like me continuing to say I wanna, or I'm going to, or whatever, like why, when I could say I'm moving to LA, I'm moving to LA, I'm moving. I am moving. And then it's crazy because within the span of like 3 months, I just started meeting mad people from in LA, boom, boom, boom. Before I knew like 2 people in LA, and I went to high school with them. I ain't trying to talk to them. Like, nah, I'm good. Like, girl, y'all knew me at a different time. I am not that person anymore. So within like a month though, or 2 months, 2-3 months, I started working at Girls. Boom, a bunch of people in LA at Girls. TikTok, started meeting all these people, live in LA, just want to be friends. Bang, good. Oh, when you come out here, we can collab. Just started meeting mad important people to me now that like are already in LA. So when I go, I have that foundation already. I just have to have the monetary part to go. And so that's it. That's all it takes. And that's how I look at manifestation, is trusting and believing in the universe, knowing that you bring value. It's really, to me, it's about having an air of confidence to yourself. Okay. If you develop that air of confidence and you believe in yourself, and don't get me wrong, things do get in the way, but it genuinely, if you believe in yourself, you can achieve what you need to and what you want to within means, within reality. Like, please be realistic. But like that whole I'm going to be president. About 3 to 4 of y'all can say that.
Right.
That's it. Bro. That's it. Like, if I meet like 50 kids and all 50 is saying, "Oh, I'm going to be president," I'm be like, well,
yeah, be realistic.
First of all, there's not enough time in this lifespan for all 50 of y'all to be president. But like, just be realistic with yourself. But also, yeah, like I said, manifestation is not like manifesting for the future. It's manifesting for the now. Networking is key. Like Aaliyah said, networking is key.
Networking is key. And yes.
That's always what it is in journalism. And that's always where I felt like I fell behind in school, was because I did all the work. And I realized when I left college, I did none of the networking. And so
says LA needs you.
Yes. I agree. LA does need me. I did all the work. I did all the making sure I knew how to write killer pieces, making sure I knew how to market myself, making sure I knew like how to talk to people when I got into rooms, but I never got into the rooms. Like I never did the work to get into the rooms. The most I did was cozy up to my professors, which was a genius idea. If you were in college, cozy up to your professors. And like, I always credit one professor. And I genuinely believe this is why I was able to start manifesting and believing it. I always credit this one professor. I had this one professor who did like intro to journalism. And he immediately, first day in class, 150 people in there, he immediately took a liking to me. And then I found out that he wrote for Rolling Stone for 20 years. And I immediately was like, I'm coming to see you for office hours. And like, I literally could cry about this right now. I went and I had a meeting with him and I told him, like what I wanted to do with my life. And he told me, and this was literally 5 years ago now. And like, I texted him a couple of days ago saying, thank you. He told me that he didn't know what it was about me, but that I had the it that someone saw in him that gave him his first piece in Rolling Stone to write. And he told me, I don't know what it is, but you have it. And that gave me the confidence to be like, I could do whatever I want. Like I saw someone who had done the things that I wanted to do, tell me that I had whatever it was. And that's all I needed, because no one had ever told me that. Like that was in the journalism field. Like obviously my mom always told me I was special, but like no one in the journalism world had ever told me like, you can make it. No one, I was always overlooked, maybe because of my looks, maybe because I was Black, but I was always overlooked. And he sat me down like the nicest white man in the world. Like, I don't be like, give white people their credit, but this man changed my life with that one sentence. And like, to this day, like I said, I just texted him telling him, I don't know what you saw in me, but thank you, because that gave me the confidence to be able to do everything I'm doing right now. Like you lit a fire under my ass.
You don't get a lot of professors like that.
You don't. And like I said, I don't talk to him often. I check in with him like once a year, and every day I'd like thank him, because like in my head, I thank him because without him, I just don't think I would have had the confidence in myself. And that is literally like 70% of this is the confidence, the gall to like just go into these rooms and act like you own it. Like now at networking events, I'm out here wearing sky blue suits. Like I'm acting like I'm super fly and doing all because like, I'm like, wait, like I bring the value here. Like I have that. And so I definitely would say networking is key. Like networking is the thing to do if you're trying to do this.
It definitely is. I definitely, when it comes to, like I still feel like I battle with that as well, you know, trying to connect with different people because you don't know, like, and I feel like, I don't know. I started this other podcast called Not Another Anxiety, and it's about social anxiety. And I'm thinking of like broadening it and making it into other things because people talk about like imposter syndrome. And I think, I had to get over that.
The way.
Yes. I just started asking, like, because I don't know. I just have this weird feeling like, oh no, I asked somebody that I love watching, you know, on social media, TikTok, YouTube, or whatever, that has like maybe a following that is a little bit more than me. I'm like, I don't know, like, are they going to think like, oh no, you're just using me or this, that, and the third? So I had to get out of that, and I started just asking, you know what, let me just send the email, let me send the text, you know, put myself out there. Networking is hard. Like even though people like, hard. You know, you just got to be like, you know, growing up socially, because I feel like I have social anxiety. You can't really tell because I'm doing this, like I'm talking to people I don't really know, but it's scary.
It is the imposter syndrome. I think I felt over the last 3 months has been the hardest thing for me. And I thank God for like my family or my friends to kind of keep me in reality. But at the same time, like, oh, wait, you're in these rooms that like you were supposed to be in. And like, it was like because I think a lot of people who know me know that I was a big Anthony Fantano fan, like a big needle drop fan. And so it was weird because, again, I don't try to put validation in anything that happens. But when he followed me, I knew I was doing something right. He followed me on TikTok a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, you're on the right path. And then I saw all these other important people in media, of course, all white men, because that's who they prop up. Follow me. And I realized, wait, not only are you bringing something different that all these white men do not have, but it's more valuable than just them and their white men opinions. And that's why they're following you. And like took me a minute to be able to accept, like, oh no, this is what you're supposed to do, and you're not an imposter. This is who you are. Like, don't be afraid to like ask these people to be on your show and things like that.
Yeah.
But it like, so every day I have to give myself a little check, be like, no, you're really doing this. Like, you really are doing this. And like, you're important. And like I said, I'll be on here on TikTok. I'm at this point, I think I'm averaging almost 1 million views a week, 2 million views a week. And I'll get on, get on Twitter, tweet something out, and nobody likes it. So like that also like just plays with my head so much. Or like I do the podcast announcement, right? And 30,000 people watch it. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'll be lucky to walk out of the new Instagram with 100 followers on the Instagram. A day, 650 people followed me in one day off of one advert. And I was just like,
you can do it. Yes.
It took me a minute, but I'm just like, no, what you have to say is important. I think remembering that is a key thing. And for me, my imposter syndrome has definitely gone down in the last few weeks because number one, I'm more focused just on me and what I'm doing and not on people and their validation and things. But it was something I had to like work through for a minute there because I'm just like, whoa, like it happened so fast. And I also had like a nervousness about being that TikToker that they have a hot start, but like, then like you check on them 3 months later and then they got like 200 views a video. Like, it is just like, what's going on? And I had to be, and I was, for a minute there, I was so obsessed with not being that person that I forgot, like, no, if you just make good content, people will watch.
It's this generation where like, you know, everything is fixated on numbers. I was watching this documentary called Fake Famous. It's on HBO Max. And they were talking about how, and me and my co-host, you know, I guess he understands more because he's been in the industry a lot. And I'm going to get to your question, Silversight Network, right after I say this. But like the part where they were like, oh, well, you know, actors, now they're casting actors with this amount of followers. I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me I have to worry about how many followers I got so I can act? Like, you know, talent, we feel like talent is like not relevant anymore.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? What's crazy about all of that though? Mm-hmm. And this is like a key for everyone that's like trying to get into this. What I've come to realize and what I've started learning now, it's not even about the followers no more. What matters is the engagement. Like everything, because oh my gosh, I thank God I had friends that I went to school with that were in PR and marketing. And I had a friend that's been helping me currently. Shout out to my friend Natasha. She ain't listening, but shout out to her. I think she's asleep. But I had her helping me, and she just was like, yo, you really can make money off of this. And I was like, girl, stop lying. I got 44,000 followers. Like, quit. Don't do me like that. And she was like, no, Jalen, sorry, that's my government name. But if you in this, please don't tell people my government name. Sorry. She was like, no, Pablo, like you have the engagement rate that people with 100,000, 200,000, 1 million don't have. And that's where you need to leverage it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, the people that watch your videos, the people that comment on your videos. I don't know if y'all know this. The reason why I'm always commenting back on my videos is so that way the engagement rate goes up.
Right.
Like I do care about what y'all are saying and I do care about engaging with y'all. But me commenting back helps the engagement rate skyrocket. And so that's part of it. Like that's a big part is just engaging with people. And I think music is one of those things that like universally unites folks. And because of that, the engagement is already going to be there if you have something to say. And it is kind of weird that like, you know, if you have a certain level of followers, you can be an actor and stuff. They still go by that. But like, I realized that making the real money is about the engagement. Like it's about the engagement. Followers don't matter. Because right now, and again, I hate this term, I'm qualified as a micro influencer. Ew. I don't want none of that in my name. But my engagement rates are that of like someone with 1 million followers. And to me, that's the craziest thing. The craziest thing. I mean,
it depends on, I guess, the person. You know, some people's content is more reactive, because I know there's a lot of videos that you make that is like, oh my goodness, like you're really starting the conversation. You are really adding seasoning to this discussion, because you know every week there's a new topic on TikTok.
And I didn't even notice. The thing was, I would just be like, this is my opinion. People are like, oh, you're starting conversation. I'd be like, no. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, this is just an
Lily Shaw
opinion.
said micro influencer ill. I always thought micro influencer was 5,000. 5,000 or less. And then once, because you're 44K on TikTok, which is, that's real good.
So apparently it's anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 is micro. And once you pass the 50,000 mark, you are now just an influencer, apparently. And I'm like, ugh, that word is so ugly. I
influencer,
hate it. Influence. Like, boy, I'm not a Kardashian.
Hi, sister. Like,
I am not a Kardashian. Don't expect me to come out here with no BBL. It's not happening.
Child. Like, my goodness.
I'm not. Max, what's up, Max? I am not.
So because I said I was going to get to this question. What advice do you give to people who get stuck in the decade, music-wise, in terms of not listening to recent or new music? I feel like this question for me too. I feel into a while ago, and I'm just starting to get back into modern music. You go first. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. I do the same thing. 90s music is my comfort music, and I listen to 90s R&B and 90 music in general every day. At some point every day. The key thing though is to be adventurous. Like, I look at it like the same way I look at my life. Like, I don't want to be inside all day. I got to do something, even if I'm inside for a day or two at a time, a week, whatever. I'm feeling sad. At some point I got to go out. I got to go outside. So I tell people just like to challenge themselves to listen to one new thing a week. Even if you go on Spotify, I can't remember if Apple has it, but if you go on Spotify and on every Friday, you just give yourself Friday to go through the New Music Friday playlist. And if you find something you like, go listen to the rest of that artist's discography for the weekend. Like, if you just do that on Friday, you'll start exposing yourself to so much more music. For me, it also is different now because, again, a paycheck is attached to me not listening to one decade of music. Okay. So I will force myself for a check. So just try your hardest. Like, that's the best. And even if you fall back into getting stuck in a decade, that's fine. That's your comfort music. That's the music that makes you feel good. That's the music that elicits the best memories for you. That's okay. That's what music is supposed to do. But if you really want to listen to new music, you really just have to try. And it's way easier now than it used to be. It used to be, because if y'all know I'm a big vinyl collector, it used to be you got to go to the record store, you got to listen to the new vinyl, you got to see if you like anything on the new vinyl, and then if you do, then you buy it, and if you don't, you put it back. Like, now it's just like, okay, I could go on a playlist, I can see it, and I think that's another reason why I keep trying to make so many playlists for everyone, because I'm trying to expose people to different music that like were big parts of my childhood but we're so different from each other. Like, I was listening to alt music and punk music and pop punk a lot when I was in high school. But when I was younger, I was listening to Michelle Branch. And when I was younger than that, I'm listening to Neo Soul. I'm listening to Erykah Badu. And I'm listening. Ooh. So I'm just trying to like be that person, be like, hey, like, if you didn't grow up on this, try it. You might like it. And if you don't, that's fine. But we're going to try again until we get something that you do like. And even now with modern music, I'm not a fan of a lot of modern music. Like, there's some stuff I love. And then there's a lot of stuff I hate. The quality of music has definitely gone down. I won't play with y'all about that.
Let's be
like, the quality of music. Me and my mom have this discussion all the time. Like, the quality of music has gone down, but there's something out there for you. There's something out for you. We just got to find it. And it goes to the podcast. I think I'm going to help people with that too. Yeah. I think on the podcast, I'm going to provide a platform to help people get into music that they like based off of their other interests.
Because I feel the same way about, getting stuck in a decade. I started really appreciating music in the 2010s. Let me tell you something. That whole decade of music, this is where Nicki came in. This is where we see Drake. This is where, we're talking pop, Gaga, Katy Perry. Like, you recently talked about Katy Perry.
Queen.
Don't come for Smile.
I hate when people come for Katy Perry.
Like, don't act like she was not in everybody playlist back in the day. Come on, California Girl.
Firework came out before I graduated high school, like 4 or 5 years. That song has such a chokehold on people. They played it at my graduation in high school. Like, let's not pretend Like these songs didn't have us like by the neck by Katy Perry. Like she's the
we
only
needed that song played at the inauguration. Period.
She's the only woman in music history, I think, to have 5 number ones off one album, and could have had 6 if her label didn't hate Peacock so much. She could have had 6 number 1 hits. Like, I don't care. Y'all can say Katy Perry can't sing. I ain't even finna argue with you on that front. Whatever, fine. Whatever was in that sauce, I don't know if it's Max Martin. I know she was working with Dr. Luke at the time, which I hate, but like whatever was in that music, she put her foot in it, she put her knee in it, she put her back into it, and it was just good. Like her, Gaga, Kesha at the time, I'm like, Kesha couldn't miss. Like Kesha could literally get on the track and slur her words, and we were like, yup. That's my girl.
Come on. 2010s was it, and I feel like now
Drake too.
Yeah, Drake too. Now we're in 2020, and you know, I love the new artists. I want to give them a chance. You know, I always call them like little infant artists,
but the babies.
But it's like I'm not really feeling a lot of y'all.
You know what I think a lot of it is that people aren't realizing that music has also gotten like exponentially sadder.
Okay.
And I don't think people want to be a part of that as much as they used to. Like I made a TikTok about this a while ago, talking about how like back in like 2001 and 2002, a lot of like coffee house music was it. Like Norah Jones and Jason Mraz and John Mayer, they all like shot to stardom off the back of 9/11 and people not wanting to be a part of that. But now that the everything is so internal, like it's not an external threat, it's internal threats. And by that, I mean like your own depression, your own anxiety, your own sadness. I think a lot of people gravitate towards that music because it's so relatable, because they feel these emotions intensely. But a lot of people are rejecting that music because a lot of us just want to party. We don't want to think about that. We want to escape from that. We don't want nothing to do with it. And whenever like there's certain songs, like that's why I think a song like Mood blew up so big. Because like it just felt fun, it felt good. It had nothing to do with me being sad. Everything to do with a heartbreak, but nothing to do with being sad. But I think that's why like Leave the Door Open was big, because we're not talking about depression. We're not sad. This is not like we vibing, like we having a good time. You're trying to impress somebody, and I think people like it's very polar opposite. And I think the reason because of that is streaming. Because streaming have given people such a big like option to opt into things or not. Whereas when Norah Jones came out, you were listening to Come Away With Me. Like there was no escaping Come Away With Me. Yeah, what Shelby said, I think that's why K-pop is taken off, because it's so happy and vibey and people love it. Like people don't want to talk. Like I love Billie Eilish, but people, I'm sorry, I don't want to listen about abuse all day, every day. I don't want to listen about sadness all the time. And like, while she absolutely has her place, and I love
it. I mean, Dua Lipa. I mean, she's kind of upbeat.
That's why Future Nostalgia was so big, though, because like. Are you kidding? First of all, she had Nile Rodgers working on that thing, and anything with Nile Rodgers on it is going to be massive. But like, it was just about having fun, and I'm so sad for her that like that didn't come out before the pandemic started, because I don't think people realize how much bigger Future Nostalgia would have absolutely been had we been able to be outside. Oh my God. Oh. No, Olivia Rodrigo actually figured it out too.
Same with Chromatica. I felt robbed because
like if we could have been outside for Chromatica, Future Nostalgia, there's a couple more, probably honestly Taylor Swift's album. Like if we could have been outside for some of this stuff, it would have been, and just the albums we didn't get because we couldn't go outside. Kendrick was supposed to drop an album. SZA was supposed to drop an album. Like, had we been able to be outside, oh my God, it would.
2020 would have been a year.
It would have been like 2016 all over again. It would have been like 2016. Oh my God,
2016. Yes,
I hold that. But
everybody likes 2016. Yes, no, for real.
When you look at it, okay. First of all, what Rihanna did with Anti that year was what? Crazy.
Come on.
Then you had Lemonade for anyone who's going through heartbreak. Great. And it had good music. Like Sorry had the clubs turned up, like for no reason, talking about people cheating. Sorry. You had like Lil Uzi come to prominence. You had Playboi Carti come to prominence. Lil Yachty had come out with his stuff. Like just so much different music had come out in 2016 by a lot of Black artists that made it so like, oh my God, Drake had come out with views. Do y'all know the chokehold that One Dance and Controlla had on us in 2016? Like, bro, you could not go nowhere that whole summer without hearing that
music
bad
peaked.
patois.
Yeah.
Like, you could not go anywhere.
Yeah.
And like, it's just crazy now. Like Shelby said, I think Olivia Rodrigo is bringing us out of it. Like, do you understand how bad I want to go on a boat and scream "Good for you"? Like I don't even have nobody to break up with, and I want to go on a boat and scream.
There's a lot of controversy I heard about. I was trying to get to the bottom of everything with her because it was like, oh yeah, she's an industry plant and she's copying the Lord and all.
Can we please talk about industry plants? Because that's probably my shtick on TikTok. That is literally my shtick.
Okay.
God. Olivia Rodrigo is probably one of the most organic individuals to ever come out of anything. Not only did this girl, first of all, everybody was killing me for this. Yes, I understand. She had her first acting gig on Old Navy commercial. Then she did American Girl Doll, which everyone was obsessed with. Not me though, because I was a little too old for American Girl Doll luck. Everyone was mad at me because I didn't mention that, as if I wasn't a whole 20-year-old when that came out. Anyway, then she got on Bizarre Fark, which was big because Jake Paul was on there and stuff, which was on Disney Channel. And then she did High School Musical, the series.
Oh yeah, that's right. She did do that.
So people are like, "Oh, she's a plant. She just showed up." Like, no, she was on High School Musical, the series, a show that requires people to sing. Hello, Geffen and Interscope peeped that. Disney allowed her not to sign a record deal with Hollywood Records, which is unheard of, and she opted to go with Interscope and Geffen, which is a good label. Like, they treat their artists how they should be. And then she had one viral song on TikTok, which was All I Want, which is from High School Musical, that she wrote, that they let her write for the series. That went pretty viral. And then she released Driver's License in January, and everyone was so obsessed with her relationship and so nosy because the same demographic that watch High School Musical, the series, is also on TikTok. Driver's License just got a life of its own. And like, I think people don't understand, like, that song was iconic because it all centered around an experience that everybody has. Everybody knows what it's like to get their not everybody, not Lady Gaga, but like everybody knows what it's like to get their driver's license.
Yeah.
And so because she was like able to unite everyone over that, we were hooked. And then she followed that up with Deja Vu, which is honestly like her vocal performances are just, they should not be in a 19-year-old at all. Like, they should not be there.
I'm gonna check her out. I love pop music. You know,
it's good. It's pop punk. I'm a massive Paramore fan. Like, I could riddle off almost any fact about Paramore, right? I love Hayley Williams. And I loved Avril Lavigne. And this girl somehow did all that, threw in some Taylor Swift and Adele, and put it into an album. Like, it's not a 10, because I feel like at the back half of the album, she kind of ran out of material, which is fine. Like, okay.
I mean, it happens. Yeah.
It happens. It's your first album. I'm okay. Like, but she put all of that together. She put, and Lord too, she put all of our favorite people of the last 15, 20 years that had a chokehold on us pretty much in the pop landscape, and put it in an album. And like, as we're coming out of quarantine, like, you tell me all these white girls not going to go crazy on some boat or something singing Good for You? Oh my God. Olivia Rodrigo has done something.
Yeah, Shelby said industry plants traditionally don't actually do well. They're mostly marketed testers. Yeah.
Shelby knows all.
Shelby without, because I don't want to disrespect no artist. I mean, who do we have that is an industry plant though? I mean,
we don't know them. We don't know them.
we don't know them.
I be trying to tell people on TikTok all the time, like, babe, the people you think are an industry plant are not an industry plant. The industry plants, we don't know. We don't know them. They don't work out well. They try and they fail miserably.
Before I get, my barb tear, casted out, a lot of people said Cardi was an industry plant for Nicki. But see,
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Again, another woman that has literally, all, Shelby, don't downplay yourself. Okay. Greta Van Fleet is probably one of the few that I think have done a little bit of anything, and they've just, I agree with that. Shelby. But with Cardi, the thing with her is people don't realize, like, she had a massive following off of being a stripper. Like, she was just funny. That's the first person ever to have a Fashion Nova like sponsorship. And she, like, it's such a, like, her, like, people call her a plant. Her entire storyline on Love and Hip Hop was trying to do music. The entire storyline, whether it was the first season or the second season she was on, the entire storyline is her trying to do music.
Yeah.
So my question is, even with Cupcake and Lady LaShore saying, like, oh no, they approached me. Of course they approached you. There was nothing to lose with y'all if y'all didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Cardi's return on investment was far too big for them to be taking a chance on. She had a following, a solid following already. Yeah. She had the listeners. She had the production already. She had people writing for her already. She was a ready-made artist for Atlantic when they signed her. They, like, planting Cardi to try to destroy Nicki would have been them shooting themselves, not even in the foot, in the head. Like, they would have blame spratted, because the girl's too valuable in terms of money. And at the end of the day, I feel like record labels want to do the least amount of work and gain the most money. And Cardi is a person that they had to do the least amount of work and they got the most money out of.
Now, I won't be too, because we got to be clear. It seemed like there was a push and an exit trying to, that transaction was trying to happen. And I think I want to blame the media also for perpetuating these two women to beef. Because, when it was fresh, I was like, you know what, screw Cardi, because, you tried to fight her. I'm like, I can never get over that. I can never, but no, I see it. Now that I see it in this perspective, it's like, the media really had a lot of shit to go on. When Nicki was doing her media circuit for Queen, that's the questions that they were asking her, like, oh, how do you feel about Cardi? Cardi this, Cardi that. Well, and at one point she was like, well, she must be talking about me because y'all keep on bringing it up. And it's like, no. And that's exactly what happened. I think that I used to think she was an industry plant. I think now, I don't know, like, you cannot lie and say that some of Cardi music. Now, come on now.
It's some of it. What is bad or planted or
not planted? But no, some of it. No, I'm just saying that it being good.
No, all of it is good. But, like, name an artist who's got no misses. Name an artist. Like, everybody gonna have something bad. Like,
I mean, Beyonce. Let me say.
I mean, okay, yeah, no, we don't. Okay, hold on.
Right, we don't want the beat.
Hold on. Beyonce doesn't have a bad song. I don't care what nobody says. Beyonce does not have a bad song. Wait, hold on. Am I on here? Wait, what happened? What just happened?
I don't know what happened. Oh my goodness.
I was like, where did you go?
What is going on?
We switched positions too.
I can't hear or see you.
Oh.
Hold on. We ain't gonna stop this live. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, Lord.
Can you see me? Am I back?
No, I can't hear you.
You can't. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay. I can hear something.
Am I back?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, where'd you go?
I can't see you, but I don't think.
Hold on. Nothing.
Not we. Uh-oh.
Did we break it?
Yo, I've been having issues with this live stream anyway. I mean, we was able to go to 2 hours last week, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna refresh the YouTube page because I feel like I'm still on there. Let's see. I'm getting the little spinny spins. Okay, I'm on there. I'm on there.
You're on it? Oh, I just can't see you.
Well, okay. I wonder why. That's ugly.
Well, as long as everybody can hear and see you, it is what it is. And not when we got to Beyonce, this started messing up.
It's like she heard us. Okay, someone said that they can see and hear us both, so we're good.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm gonna have a lot. I use Restream.
Oh, so no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I don't know why it's acting. Look, I'm about to get the OBS streams real quick, honey. Once I get this new computer.
And I'm done. So Beyonce doesn't have a bad song. Beyonce don't have a bad album. She's different. But what I mean is just like, there's always going to be some questionable stuff that comes from everyone. And Cardi by no means is going to be absolved from that, simply because, number one, she doesn't write all her music. And two, when she does, it's not all going to be good either. Like, people are getting on her about that DJ Khaled feature she did, talking about she was off beat. No, she wasn't. If you know how to count metrics, she was not off. If you know how to count music and beats, she wasn't off. Anyway, but I'm not going to get into that because that's not my business. Anyways, she's just like, I don't know. I think people are just obsessed with discrediting women, though. Like, I really find like misogyny, and I think, Shelby said it in the chat, the issue is racism and misogyny getting dressed in the industry. We're going to see artists who didn't get theirs losing to artists who now will because of awareness. Literally. I think with Nicki, I think people were so mad that she didn't get the recognition that Cardi got. And it's very valid. Nicki deserved way more. Nicki deserved the Cardi treatment. But I don't think that's an excuse to try to pit them two against each other. Like, I think that there's more. I think, and I don't blame Nicki really for this. Her presence breeded a ground that, like, people like, how do I put this? Her presence breeded a ground that would not allow other women to be successful at the time.
Okay.
And it was different because it's not even saying that women weren't around. Like Lady LaSure was around when Nicki came out. We know Remy Ma was in jail, but that's okay. Sorry, let me not be shady. But there were other women rappers that were still around, and they just like didn't get their just due because we were so obsessed with Nicki. And then honestly, I think the catalyst was actually Remy getting out of jail, not anything she put out, but her getting out of jail just kind of opened people's eyes up to there could be more. And Cardi took advantage of that. And then after that, Megan took advantage. Doja took advantage. Rico Nasty took advantage. Tierra Whack. Like, all these women were like, oh, we could do this. And streaming helped too. Like, I don't think people realize that, like, Nicki came out in a time where, y'all see, we just got Beat Me Up Scotty 2 weeks ago. That was a YouTube exclusive, sweetheart. Like, you were on YouTube doing that.
Not a YouTube exclusive.
It was a YouTube exclusive.
That was another reason why they said Queen didn't really do as well, because they felt like she did not, like, or maybe her team didn't know how to deal with streams now.
I don't think so, because what Pink Print came out in 2014, that's a year after Spotify really, really started doing the thing with streaming.
Yeah.
People were still buying. Child had a physical Pink Friday, so I had a CD.
I had all the physicals, okay?
Right? Like, I had the physicals, right? So when Queen came out, it had been 4 years since she released an album. It was a different world, and I don't think her team, or the label were ready for that. They did not, and I think because Cardi's team was ready for that, because everything Cardi had done was via social media, pretty much. So she knew how to get that attention. I think that made people upset, and that's fine. But step your cookies up. That's what, like Nicki says, step your cookies up. That's it. That's it.
Cookies up when they crumble.
Exactly. So, I mean, like, I love Nicki. I think the disrespect that she gets is just ridiculous. I think. But when people get mad that she doesn't have a Grammy, that's because she, like, called them out. Like, I don't know what y'all wanted to happen. Her to call them out and then get one?
Well, hold on now.
No, it's not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying, like, you can't I hate you, and then be like, but give me my Grammy.
Well, what do you mean call them out in what terms? Like, you talk about her response on when she talked about it on the Queen Radio?
Yeah, just saying, like, the Grammys are rigged. It's unfair. You have to play these politics and games. Once she said that, I knew she would never get one.
No. I think the problem was, it was around the Grammys that time, and I guess that's Queen did not make it, but she brought us back, because I watched the whole episode. I don't know if you did, but she talked about how when she performed, we all remember that.
Oh yeah, the Roman's Revenge, and they hated it.
And they hated it,
but it was good.
It was good, and it was right after Whitney Houston's death, and one of the exec producers told her, if you go on this, if you go and perform this, you are going to regret it. And from there, that's when she was never going to get a Grammy again, because she performed at that show with that
and did what she wanted to do, which is exactly what was right. Excuse me. But also even that plays into the racism, because did Lady Gaga not go on some award show and like basically hang herself?
Okay. But that was the VMA Awards. That was paparazzi. Yeah.
Let me mind my white business. Exactly. Like I just feel like that had to do with racism.
We love Gaga,
more than anything.
but you know.
Yeah, like everyone looked at that as performance art, but as soon as Nicki started like wearing like veils and like looking like she was part of the Vatican, it was
Apparently the Catholic community had an issue with it, but I'm like, y'all ain't had an issue with Gaga.
As if Sinead O'Connor didn't rip up the Pope on SNL in '92. But anyway, that's not my business either. Lord. But she lost her career because of that too, unfortunately, which was unfair because she was very accurate and right about what was going on in the Catholic Church. But I just feel as though with her, like, and a lot of young barbs don't know that, though. They don't know that, like, oh, the reason why Nicki's not getting Grammys now is because of this thing she did where she wasn't wrong 8-9 years ago. Like, they think it's like this continuation of them like not liking her. And it's like, no, they like, yeah, it is a continuation of them not liking her. But at the same time, she wasn't going to get a Grammy from that point on. And I think she's accepted that. And I think we need to accept that and just realize that the Grammys have much bigger issues, and that until the Grammys is completely overthrown, rehauled, and reworked, it's not going to get better, especially not for Black artists and especially not for women, because I'm still waiting on the Grammys to tell me what in the world is progressive R&B. Because to me, anything that Chloe and Halle did was pop music, house music, and a little bit of R&B mixed together, which should have been just categorized as pop. Like Ungodly Hour is a pop album with operatic vocals and some house music. It is a pop out, but Dua Lipa gets the pop nomination or the general nomination. I'm not saying they made a disco-esque album, but it's the same thing. It's the same essence. The Weeknd getting snubbed for what? Because y'all were going to be forced to nominate him in the general categories, and y'all were going to be forced to nominate him in the pop categories, huh? That's why y'all didn't want to. That's why y'all just snubbed him, huh? Because y'all were gonna have to confront your issues with racism. And like the Grammys are just like, no, the Grammys are so used to acknowledging things after they are a trend. Like the Grammys did not value rock and roll until the 80s and 90s, honestly, not even until the 90s, to be honest. Yeah,
they stuck in the past.
They want to celebrate what they want to celebrate then. And when something is forward thinking, they're not going to award it until 10 years after. And most of the time it's because Black people are innovating it. And it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so horrible. So I think in 15, 20 years, Nicki's finally going to get her just due with the Grammys. They're going to do, who'd they give that one Grammy to, like real late in life? Never won a Grammy. It's like Leonardo.
Nas?
Yes, Nas. Like Nas won this past year. And Illmatic came out how many years? 23 years before? Like, come on. It's the same thing with the Oscars. So you give Leonardo DiCaprio an Oscar for The Revenant when Titanic, Catch Me If You Can, Blood Diamond, Wolf of Wall Street, Gatsby, all that came out. And you give him it because he played a man in a jungle in the woods for 2.5 hours. This is it's not right.
Right. We have another comment.
Oh yeah, go for it.
We'll answer a few more before we go because we almost had 2 hours. Which is okay, but this live stream is scaring me today.
Hey, look, I'm down to go till it's shut off. No, I'm just
right. Okay.
I'm down. I don't care. I have nothing.
Lily Shaw says, "This is random, but what is your opinions on Lizzo? I love her."
I love Lizzo. I'm happy for her. This is her moment. I hope she not categorized, but capitalizes off of it. I think that she's great. Essentially, I hate the abuse that she's subjected to just because she's fat, but and I hate like that the things that Lizzo does that normal skinny people do, she gets bashed for. But I love everything that Lizzo stands for. I mean, sis could play the flute down. Like,
right.
I'm all for this marching band nerd getting her butt up on stage and just like killing it every time.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would categorize her as, just like I'm not sure what I categorize Doja as. I think they're just artists. Plain and simple. They can do it all. Like Lizzo can sing, Lizzo can rap. Again, Lizzo can play the flute. Her her shows are, let me tell you something. Anyone that be going after Lizzo her weight, go up there and do her show. Just go up there and do her show.
If regular skinny people can't, because she be going down. I'm like, come on, let's go.
She be moving. I'm like, yo, like, how do you do that?
Oh, you know, the health trainer girl had to come back and apologize. I'm like, yeah, you were wrong.
Julian Michaels?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's not even. I just wish skinny people would stay out of fat folk business.
Okay.
Like, can you let me? If I need it, it's always the people that's never been fat that's got the most to say about fat people. Like I was on Twitter the other day and this dude was like, it's really not that hard to lose weight if you just da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, who asked you though? Like, if we want advice, it's always the never been fat people talking about fat people. Like, always the never been fat.
Or no, sometimes it'd be the ones that used to be, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so reformed now. Let me tell you, you can do it too."
And you know what's crazy about a lot of them? They get bariatric surgery, which is fine. Ooh. It's okay. It's normal. But let's not act like you did. It was all natural, sweetheart. Or they starve themselves. They like develop eating disorders, and that's not good. Like, diet culture is so harmful. I blame the Kardashians. That's why I can't support. I never have and never will support them. Like, they have. That's why I don't care when people be bashing them every time they change their face, because how can you be mad at a culture that you contributed to? Like, how can you be mad at people not liking the bodies that you're trying to change yourself into when you tried to sell those bodies that you morphed into as the standard? Please get out of my face. Period. Someone had asked an Ariana Grande question and I just wanted to answer it. I think it was about like their about her aesthetic. I love Ariana Grande, but I love the people behind Ariana Grande more than I love her. Victoria Monet, Tommy Brown Hits, Social House, Taylor Parks, those people, and I'm not saying Ariana's not talented. They have given her aesthetic though. Like, every single one. Victoria Monet has been writing with her since My Everything. Mm-hmm. Tommy's been working with her, I think, since Dangerous Woman. And this takes no credit from her voice. That girl is talented. She can sing down. She's entertaining. But a lot of the reasons that she is so great is because of Black people behind her helping her. And I just wish that the same support that she gets for being so great, those Black people got when they released their albums. Like, Victoria Monet's album last year, Jaguar.
Whew. I watched your video because you were talking about how she wasn't invited to the Billboard Awards. And I'm like, first of all, he was like, y'all need to figure out who she is. Listen to her music. So that's exactly what I did. I'm like, let me look.
But Noah Beck and Dixie D'Amelio were.
I listened to the whole album. I'm like, yo, what?
And
Experience is my favorite song.
Period. And we didn't hear a peep about this woman. Like, people were being like, oh, Victoria Monet put out a Silk Sonic type of vibe. Like, no, she put out that vibe before Silk Sonic even came together. Okay. Like, let's not. I just hate. It's like, oh my God, the obsession with people and discrediting Black women or not giving Black women their just due just burns me up to no end, because like, these people are literally the reason we like anything for the most part. Okay. Like, Black people, I got in trouble for saying this on TikTok, that Black people have invented most music genres. But did I lie? No, they did. Like, Black people created rock and roll, blues, country, R&B, pop music, disco, house music, EDM music. It's all Black people. And to see like other people be able to gentrify it and like Black people just don't get to reap the benefits sucks. Like, even with Bruno Mars, I love Bruno down. My mom loves Bruno. Like, that's my mom's favorite artist right now. But Bruno's not Black, but he's being able to capitalize off of Black music, because the truth is society prefers its Black art from non-Black people. Mm-hmm. And I just will always be someone who's like, yeah, no. But I mean, you know,
you know, I've been saying the same thing about Bruno Mars for years. I was like,
you know, people be asking if he cultures appropriates and stuff, and I just be like, I mean, yes, but no. Like, I don't know how to. Here's my thing with Bruno. like how do I put this? I don't know how I could say you culture appropriate when the people I accuse you of appropriating be like, no, he doesn't appropriate. Like, how can I be like, bro, you culture appropriate Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder be like, Bruno Mars is great, and I don't think he cultural appropriates. Like, how do I accuse you of said thing? Or is Stevie Wonder, I almost said something offensive. But it wasn't offensive. It was actually true. I was going to say, is Stevie Wonder blind to the fact that that's a thing?
Yo.
Like.
Well, I mean, yeah, I just don't. I don't feel it. I don't get the hype with Bruno Mars. I remember when someone said Bruno Mars is the guy that you hire for somebody's birthday party to play Michael Jackson or something like that. Like, he's a great actor.
Why did me and one of my friends, we were literally talking about this, like Bruno Mars makes blue-eyed soul, but he don't got no blue eyes. I was like, no way, he made black music for white. It's this thing, he makes black music for white people, and that's fine. There's a place for that.
Like, I love that Bruno Mars. Yeah. Okay.
Like, the way, because I've DJ'd a few weddings and things. The way white people rush to the floor for Uptown Funk.
Woo, yeah, you gotta play Uptown Funk. Like, come on.
It's like Uptown Funk, Sweet Caroline, and Shout. Like, you make me want to shout.
No, but shout out to him because he made a career out of doing this with music. But it's just like, this may not be for everybody. It's just.
It's, you know what? I will never take away that the man can sing, the man can dance.
I like this pop era.
Yeah, me too. But there's even people have an issue with that, saying like, oh, he's gentrified it. He was making doo-wop music, blah, blah. And I'm like, if you look at Bruno, though, every era he's done a different sound in music, just in music in general. Of course, it's all based in blackness. That's what he grew up on. But like, my question is always, so what is acceptable? Because I feel like for him, he's done the necessary things to show that he appreciates the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, it's almost like, what do you rather him do? Like, just not make music? Like if he appreciates it, and he's always paying tribute to like the generations before him and saying he would be nothing without them and stuff like that. So for someone like him, what do we do when he's like not a bad guy? He's not ignoring the privilege that he has. Like, what, like for him, I just don't know what to do with him, because it's like, well, I don't necessarily care for him taking all these like genres and making them like acceptable for white people to enjoy it, like to the extent that they enjoy it too, like making an Uptown Funk mandatory to play. I don't actually see him like not committing a party foul either, like I don't see him being vicious, or he's not Post Malone. Dang, I had to say it. He ain't Post Malone.
Whew. Okay. Well, there's a difference between, and I learned that with a video. I'm on TikTok all the time now since something started. But like, people like, I'll be telling them stuff. They're like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, I forgot you. And I don't want to. But somebody was talking about how there's a difference between culture appropriation and a culture appreciation. I will say Bruno Mars exemplifies culture appreciation at sometimes. Even though if it's not for me, it's just not for me. But when you talk about Post Malone, it's a little bit of a.
Wow, the way I've never like put not interested in an artist so quickly after he said what he said about rap music, as if he wasn't wearing grills and cornrows and White Iverson.
Come on.
Like, bro, are you serious? Oh, you don't listen to rap music if you want to get any value out of it. Like, excuse me, sir. Have you ever listened to the first couple of rap songs? Like, it's literally about people in the crack era. Like, okay. Yep. Sure.
Shelby says, I feel like we're missing an Usher in our generation, which is why Bruno is so popular in Usher. Okay.
And you know who that was supposed to be, Shelby? You know who that was supposed to be? It was supposed to be Chris Brown. That's who it was supposed to be. That was supposed to be our Usher.
Yeah, but Chris Brown, I mean, by the time mid 2010s, he was done. Like, he was just doing like one song a year.
I mean, well, I don't know about that, because Heartbreak on the Full Moon had 48 tracks, but
one hit. I mean,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. But like, even with him though, it could have lasted. He could have had a 10, 15. I mean, look at him now. Like, I've not seen people really remove Chris Brown from their consciousness like they say they do. Like every time I turn around, someone's like, Chris Brown has a #1 R&B dance hit. And I'm like, I thought y'all
like,
canceled.
okay.
I'd be like, I ain't gonna lie. I don't listen to Chris Brown. Like, I don't go out of my way to listen to Chris Brown. But if I'm in the car with like my mom or something and Heat come on, I'm not necessarily gonna change it.
I ain't gonna change it,
he that song Heat with Gunna is a little good there. I'm like, right. Okay. If I hear No Guidance in the car, I might sing Drake part. I'm gonna ignore Chris part, but I'm gonna do Drake part. But like, cancel culture is a myth. Cancel culture is a myth.
Somebody said this, and I wanted you to, because since we're on the whole R&B thing, and there's no, Usher in this generation. I know I've talked to a lot of people about music, and I've talked to like how the male R&B artists are not popping or hitting like the women in the industry, because the men are not really. He said the person told me they're not trying to be different, or they're not coming out of their comfort zones.
I think it goes to the whole point that people keep trying to say that R&B is dead, and it's really not. Mm-hmm. I just feel like a lot of men in R&B are playing it safe at times, but also what we see in R&B is just changing so much too. Like, to me, you have someone like Lucky Daye, who is very much traditional R&B, like with a little bit of more like, as the Grammys would categorize, progressive elements. But you like someone like Smino, like that, he a rap singer. Like, you have a lot of that black, like these like hybrid rap singer guys that like could give you a 16 but also like a melody at the same time. It's really cool and interesting to me. And like, while I do think some people are playing it safe in terms of R&B, like I'm trying to think of someone who is an R&B singer that's like Chris Brown. He makes the same song 35 times a year.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Usher, I give Usher credit because he tried. Like, Usher tried to go do an EDM thing and we hated him for it. He tried, then he went and made Climax and we were like, okay, now I see you, boy. But but like Usher tried to get us out of our comfort zone and we rejected it hard. And then he went and made Don't Mind and we were like, okay, I kind of vibe with that. But then he came out with that next album and we hated it again. And I just, for men in R&B, I don't know if it makes, I don't know. To me, it's just like toxic masculinity has gotten worse.
Okay.
Like, I just see like people don't value men being mushy anymore. And I don't see why not. Like, okay, like I miss 90s R&B where men were surrounded by a pool with like a white shirt on, open chested with wind blowing on them, and they were just singing their heart out. Like, I miss those Tyrese videos. And like, men don't want that to happen anymore. And I just don't get why. I'm like, this is so cute.
Like, they all want to be rappers. I mean, I get it, but hey.
Everybody want to sell drugs. Everybody, like, why everybody want to sell drugs? Can we have somebody that just like, wants to talk about loving their girlfriend?
Wait. And Tifa done said something. Do you think white people should have an opioid opinion on Solange's music, especially her last 2 albums?
I think I've said this a lot on TikTok. I feel like everyone can have an opinion. I'm not mad about that. I feel like white people need to understand when their opinion matters and when it doesn't, though. And right. I feel like when it comes to talking about R&B and hip hop and just a lot of like prominently Black music, they think that their opinion sometimes should hold more weight than not. And the truth is, like, when I listen to something like, because I love Solange, When I Come Home or A Seat at the Table, you're not finna sit here and tell me you don't like Don't Touch My Hair when that's not a thing for you. Like, Don't Touch My Hair is not a thing for white people. And so for people like, I don't like it. It doesn't really do anything for me. It's not supposed to do anything for you. It's not. It's not about your hair. It's not about you. Like, when Lemonade, some of the things that come into play into Lemonade, when people be like, oh, Daddy Lessons was a bad attempt at country. Number one, Black people made country. So hush. Number two, we don't do Beyonce slander. That's number 2.
Right.
Not on her internet. And number 3, like, that song was not made for you. So while you can say you personally just don't like it, you have to understand in like the general stream of consciousness, that just don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it just don't matter.
Same thing with that girl on TikTok talking about something. Oh, I think SZA kind of corny. I'm like, girl, who?
Wait, but then did you hear her try to get up there and sing the same riff and it sounded like unseasoned chicken?
Purdue, okay, don't do
You
it.
proved the point. You proved the point, Tyson Chicken.
Okay,
You proved the point. Like, exactly. It don't do nothing for you because look at what you're trying to serve.
Yeah, and I can accept what you said about that. He's like, it's not for you to understand, because we could say the same thing about Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I love her recent 2 albums. You know, I may not understand, you know, what she's going through or talking about, but it sounds good and I like the lyrics.
I listened to, like, because I was just talking about if she was an industry plant on TikTok, and people was like, oh, she never tried to hide that she came from money, and they started naming all these songs where she talks about her having money. And I was like, yeah, I used to listen to The Best Day knowing that I was not rich at all, and I don't know what it's like to grow up on a Christmas tree farm, but I was singing it. I was singing it. And but even then, though, I try to tell people, like, Black people's opinions on white music still matters more than white people's opinions on Black music, because it's one of those things where I like to tell people, like, Black people's business is not white people's business, but white people's business is absolutely Black people's business, because everything that white people do trickle down to Black people. So even if you get up there, like, I'll take, like, okay, The Strokes, which is a rock band, made an album last year, and it had to do with like depression and things like that. But the cover of their album was a Basquiat painting. And I made a TikTok about this saying, like, oh, y'all use this Black man's painting for your music, talking about depression, which everyone goes through. And that wasn't really a theme in a lot of his work, especially not the painting that you used as your album cover. Like, this man was talking about race and class and sexism and stuff like that in his art. So to see white artists bring his art into that and not understand, like, what he was talking about, and almost commodify his art as a talking point, and also to get a lot of Black people just interested in the music, is wrong. And if you're not going to use Black people's art, and my thing is, if you're going to use Black people's art, at least make it commentary on the same things that they were commenting on. Right. Like, if you're going to use a Basquiat painting, I need to hear something about racism. I need you to hear say racism is wrong. Do something. Like, don't be up here talking about depression and you got this Black man's artwork as your album cover. Like, give me something different. Like, do something. Not saying depression isn't important, but use somebody else's artwork then, if that's what you're going to do, right? Because it's not giving the same energy. And, like, I just feel as though, like I said, Black people can decipher a lot of white issues. White people cannot do the same with Black people's issues. Like, I understand, like, with Taylor Swift's last 2 albums, Nobody No Crime, I understand wanting to kill your man. I do. They be wrong. You don't understand what something like A Love Galore could do for me, or 20-something from SZA could do for me, or The Weeknd could do for, like, or Doves in the Wind. Doves in the Wind is like, whoa, could do for me. Guarded, Say It Like That. Like, that's my favorite song from that album. Like, you don't understand what that type of song can do for me as a Black person. Hear a Black woman talk about that is, like, on a different level, because it's like, I know it was made just for me to understand and decipher, and not necessarily everyone else. So when people have opinions on Black artists, I'm not saying they're not valid. What I am saying is create the space for Black people to have their opinion be at the forefront.
Yeah, and I see the same thing. I see the same correlation, because I'm into, like, MCU, DC, all that. And I see a lot of the gatekeepers that are on YouTube that talk about these things, because before I used to watch their stuff all the time, because they talk about, you know, they explain the film. They used to be this episode explained or this movie explained, but now they're getting into the politics. Like, there's a lot of people that gave flack to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier because it was dealing with too many identity politics. I'm like, and I felt that show on a lot of levels. You get what I'm saying? Like, I never seen the MCU go into that type of genre, you know, when we're talking about race relations and you know, America essentially not wanting him to be Captain America because he was Black. Like, I can't expect, y'all not going to understand. It's not for y'all to understand, but don't say it's not good. Like, it wasn't entertaining.
It's like, I don't know if you know the dude on TikTok, Straw Hat Goofy. He does a lot of, like, Marvel MCU stuff, and he was talking about, and he was talking about like how Falcon and the Winter Soldier was really touching on some things, like touching on a lot of race issues, and people just kept gaslighting him, like, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not. And then it gets to the episode where he meets with Isaiah, and he was like, you think they'll ever let a black man be Captain America? And I just remember him getting on TikTok and crying because he was like, y'all didn't even want to have the conversation that this is what this could have been about. And I just remember feeling bad because I'm like, I feel that way about music so much. Like, I'll give a review on something, some black person's art or music, and someone would be like, I think you're pulling the race card. You're too deep. And I'm just like, number one, I'm just trying to have the conversation. Like, right. I'm just trying to have the conversation. No one said I was right. And then like an artist would be like, yeah, this was about race. And I'll be like, bro, like y'all sat here and tried to invalidate me so much. And I was actually spot on with what they were trying to say. Like, it just really sucks that people like, it's a luxury. And again, it goes back to the point of like, it's a luxury that white people have to be able to remove race from every conversation. Like, Black people don't have that luxury. My race and my sexuality are in every conversation I have, like every conversation. It does not matter. Like, I can't remove that from anything I talk about or anything I do. Like, I always look at something through a racial and queer lens, no matter what I do. Like, everything I look at, and people are like,
yeah, it's real.
No matter how hard I try to remove myself from that, and I just try to like be like, okay, how do I look at this just like with no, I can't. That's who I am. That's part of my identity. And I feel like that's part of the reason why like a lot of like white, like I think white people just get sometimes uncomfortable with people bringing that up because it makes them confront their own issues with things. And they try so hard to get away from that. And they think like movies and things like that is their escape from that. And it's like, no, because when you have Black people or people of color creating this art, same thing. Like, you're gonna have people,
and if you know you're not racist or discriminatory,
what's the problem?
It's not gonna bother you.
Like, you could really, it's not even, you could breeze right by that. You can digest and process what the person is saying and then move along. Yeah. Like, it's just annoying.
And maybe call me biased if you want to. I thought Falcon and the Winter Soldier was good. I don't like Captain America movies. I really don't.
Hate them.
This is considered a Captain America movie because he eventually becomes Captain America.
Yeah.
But for the first time, I thought it was interesting. Me too. And it's not because sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good.
It's not because Sam becoming Captain America. I love watching Bucky in there. I love watching Zemo, which was like a real crazy character that was on Civil War, and to see him change his character arc around and stuff like that, and watching the I forgot what they're called, but the Warriors of Wakanda. It was a good combination. Like, I don't know, child. It's There's a lot of conversations on the internet that just really piss me off. I think ever since because I do my type of format of video making, I do like the great debaters. That's what I call it. Like, people that debate topics that stitch other videos. I'm just like, what are y'all? It's the first day of Pride, and we got people. The video I just posted.
Oh my gosh!
Before we recorded, talking like equating homosexuality to like something satanic because I don't know. I'm like, y'all just grasping at straws.
Was that Black people doing that?
It was a Black man that said that, and I said, you know what? It's
oh my god!
The Hoteps.
No, but like page. And the funny thing is, the Hoteps try to be so like Pan-African and stuff, and I'm like, if you go back to if you research Africa, that was queer. Okay. They
want to say that's not true. They all every time there's there's no
the hieroglyphics say otherwise, sweetie.
You mean a whole continent of people was all straight?
Okay, like if anything, everyone was, in my opinion, everyone was bisexual. Everyone at some
was. Point. That's what I think. That's what we made sexual orientation a thing. Society made it a thing.
Yeah, so Western civilization.
Yeah, now we have to live in these little boxes. Not box. I wouldn't say boxes. I ain't putting no box. I live outside of it.
No, that's me. I think people always ask me about my my pronouns and how I identify, and it's never because I don't feel like a woman or anything like that. It's more so because I just don't like to do what society tell me to do, and I just don't like what's associated with gender and gender roles. And so until that becomes obsolete and like a thing we don't need, and a thing that's not like necessary, you don't need to classify yourself by that. I'm cool with what I'm going by because. Yeah, it's obsolete. Like, I do regular, like Sweetie, I get my nails done and I hang fans. So what am I?
Ooh, hello.
Like what? Like what? I get my nails done and I hang my
Right.
fans in my room. Like I do handiwork. So whatever. Tell me what I am. Like I just think it's very very obsolete and like very dated. Like don't get me wrong. If that's what you want to identify, I ain't mad at that. But until we move past that, I'm not gonna feel comfortable being like I am this and like. It's just not. That's not my thing. That's not how I get down.
Well, that's a whole nother can of worms.
It really is, though. I just hate that people use TikTok to spread bad information, both about music and about anything,
and hateful information too. Because it's really at the end of the day. Because then they start to feel, first of all, I ain't got no issues with no gay people, and then they just go on a whole dissertation. That's exactly what I said on there. You went through a whole dissertation disrespecting us and equating that our lifestyle is satanic because you've seen images that look similar. Y'all not even doing research. A lot of them they get on there and they don't even do research.
But if nothing is wrong, like if you had no problem, why are you talking about us? Why are you? If you have no problem, if there ain't no beef, there's nothing to discuss.
And Tifa President said, "Do you believe that people that push the conspiracy theories are ignorant about other cultures and push Western assimilation?"
Assimilation. So honestly, I believe most people who have this is just me, and I'm not trying to call nobody no names or nothing, but I just believe if you have all that time to be researching conspiracy theories and like doing all this stuff, you need a rebrand. You need to get a better life. You need to do something else. Yeah. Because why are you, in my opinion, to be so concerned about something that may or may not be true is just ridiculous. Like the big conspiracy theory, especially right now with like the COVID stuff and the vaccinations going around, like people, they're implanting technology. Baby, you have a cell phone. If you were born in America, sweetheart, they gave you a number at birth. If the government was trying to get to you, you're caught. Like you're just caught. You're caught. There's nowhere you're going. They have traffic light cameras now, babe. Like you're done. You're done. And like for me, if you're researching conspiracy theories, when are you living your life?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, like, I might dabble in it a little bit. Like, if I hear it in a podcast, somebody bring it up, okay, I might entertain it for that moment. But there's just so much other things in the world we could be focused on and doing. And people just rather spend their time on things that usually have little to no proof. And especially when it comes to conspiracy theories about a group of people or like just nonsense.
Well, that goes into like the whole gay agenda thing. I think we live.
I do have a gay agenda. I want everybody to be gay. Everybody need to be queer in this hoe.
I think, and someone said this on when I was on Facebook, of all places, right? They said we are living in the generation where people really, if they're not on the same track as they are, if they see things that are not on the same track as them, they're so arrogant to the fact that this is the only way to be. The way that I'm doing. I'm like, no, everybody is different. Everyone has different belief systems at the end of the day. And like, no one is pushing nothing on kids. So stop using it as an scapegoat. Cause
listen,
I know
people. If those things were pushed onto children, I grew up in a very conservative Christian, Black Jack and Jill-esque background. I would be the straightest person you know.
Same.
I am the proof. I am the proof that no matter what you do to children, if it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work.
Because they did that with the whole Lil Nas thing, like, oh my God, you got them kids watching the Old Town Road, now they're gonna listen to this. And I'm like,
there's one boy on the internet was like, I mean, if that make you gay, just go watch a Megan Thee Stallion video, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
Like,
and you think kids are that dense that they'll just take this and be like, oh, I want to do this now.
Kids, you had I won't say that like as a kid, I won't say that I wasn't like I didn't try things because my friends were trying them. I absolutely did. But at the same time, like making a decision, not even making a decision, coming to terms with something like sexuality is not anything any kid or another kid is going to make you do. Like, you know what I mean? And it really disheartens me, especially when you see people who maybe were gay at a time or bisexual or whatever, come out and be like, I'm not that anymore and I'm denouncing it. It's like, no, sweetie, you found your way to your sexuality. Like that's okay. That is fine. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe for that time period you did like girls and now you just don't, or whatever. You went to conversions therapy and you're scared now, whatever. Like, that don't got nothing to do with me. But to say that everyone like can come out of that, like, no, I tried. No, I tried to do all that. Like, I hated myself for so long because of it. And like, that's why I'm so like violently against anyone trying to denounce queer people, because I know how long I hated myself and how long I thought I was horrible, and how long, and like how me thinking that way led me to do horrible things to people that like I claim to love. And like, so for people to try to say that now, it's just like, that is like just a sensitive topic for me. Like, we could do a lot, but what we're not going to do is say this whole gay agenda thing, even though I joke about it. Like, we're not going to do all that, because that's a lie. That's just a lie. Uh-oh. Did we freeze? I think we froze. The restream kicked us off. Not me being the only one on here now. That's crazy. Where'd he go? Where's Darren? By the way, if you're on here and I accidentally gave up my public name, my government name, you hear that, ignore that, please and thank you. I'd rather my government name not be out there. I'm good with not being doxxed again. Freestyle, Shelby. Freestyle, I don't have no 16. I wish I could like bring other people on here so y'all can have a 16. Y'all can like do a 16, because I can't rap. The best I could do is talk trash. The best I could do is talk trash. What else should I talk about? I don't know. There's so much I can throw something in this chat. I can see the chat. So throw something in the chat and I'll answer it. And I will do my best to answer it. I promise, until Darren gets back, because it seems to have kicked him off, which is crazy. So throw something in the chat. I will talk about it until Darren gets back, which hopefully is in like the next 2 or 3 minutes, because this is funny. I said I would give more. Wait, let me go on my TikTok, because I said people could ask me questions on TikTok and I would try to answer them on here if I could. So let's see what people ask me on TikTok. I've already forgotten. LOL, your memory is shot. Okay. Somebody asked me about Tamia's body of work. That's cool. Oh, someone asked me like my sign. So for those of you wanting to know, I'm a Cancer. My birthday's on July 16th. It's coming. I'm a Cancer. My rising sign is a Leo and my moon is a Leo. So that's why I have such a big ego. And I need people to constantly tell me to calm it down. No, I'm just playing. But June's diary, why didn't they work? Because of, I just don't think people wanted to hear from an all Black girl group yet. And that's sad. I just think people were not ready for that. And also, they just never had their marketing together. They never had that energy up into the point of where it needed to be. And I just really feel as though everyone, because Kelly Rowland was attached, thought it was going to be another Destiny's Child. And it just simply was not that. And, you know, it gave a cute little moment or two and they were great singing live. But I just think like we weren't ready for that. We just weren't. Yeah, I saw it was you about Tamia's body of work. They weren't ready for that. And I hate that was, I genuinely hate that was a thing. Because I just feel like what is it, 5, 6 of them were talented. And I just feel like they never got a fair shake in this industry. And I wish they would have. I really do. Let's see. Has anybody listened to Gabby Hanna's like thing of covers? Shelby, have you listened to Gabby Hanna's thing of covers? Like it's like 25 songs and it's covers, I think it is. And she covered You Ought to Know by by Alanis Morissette, and I mean, I think you would hate it. I just think you would hate it, Shelby. It's not good. It's not good. And I hate saying that, but it's just not good. If you want to humor yourself, you should listen to it. But what else came out this week? Anything? I don't know. Anybody listen to anything good this weekend? Any good music? Anything? Let's see. Please. Let's see. Not hurting my queen Alanis Morissette. No, I agree. But what else? I don't know. Darren said I don't think Darren can get back on, but I just told him it's still working. You're excited for the EXO comeback. Me too. Me too. Wait, okay. So I watched this video, right, y'all? About I'm mad that I've hijacked this man's entire podcast. I've watched this. We love Meet Me at the Altar over here. Just saying, we love them. Queens, we love them. We love them. I watched this YouTube video yesterday about all the psycho artists, Simon Cowell, and it is wild, honestly. The thing, like, and if anyone in here is a 1D stan or a former 1D stan, these like archetypes that I guess like the management I think they were under Modest as well. Modest and Psycho gave them to like portray, like Zayn had to be like the dark, mysterious one, and like Niall is the only one who didn't have a like thing, like a personality, and Liam had to be like the caring one, and who was it? Harry was like the womanizer. Like what? Like, whoa. I saw that and I was so shook. And it was just talking about how vigorously they toured and how every psycho artist was like that, like James Arthur, Fifth Harmony, Leona Lewis, and who was the other one? Little Mix, and how like that is what caused like all of their downfall and stuff. And I'm just so intrigued by stuff like that because I wonder, okay. Darren's going to come back. His Wi-Fi crashed, so he's going to be back. But for now, populate me with some questions because I'm running out of material and I'm a boring person. Just playing, no, I'm not. But I'm running out of material. But that entire thing about Psycho, I just wonder, I think, if people are going to come out of the woodworks once soon, or if Simon Cowell still has like a grip on these folks some way that they're not willing to talk about it. Also, if y'all didn't know, Rebecca Ferguson is out here basically taking them down on her own, which is cool. And because she was like heavily abused in that system. And it's just crazy. And like I said, please populate me with some questions because I'm running out of material, and also trying to make sure we're still up on the live stream too. Where to go? But okay, we're good. Meet Me at the Altar is great. I meant to say that, by the way. I don't know. I feel like within the alt scene, people have tried to say that there's just like not enough Black people. And I'm like, yes, there's a whole lot. People just aren't doing the research into seeing these Black folks. And by the way, if you want to like listen to me chat about Black people in the alt scene, I did write something for Girls Behind the Rock show a couple of weeks ago about Willow Smith and her mom and Wicked Wisdom. So if you want to check that out, you should check that out. The link is in any of my bios on TikTok or Instagram, I think. So I'm just saying, if you want to check that out. But I don't know. I'm intrigued with the state of music right now, I will say, and doing all the things that I have done with it. The Nova Twins, yes, Shelby, yes. Doing all the things that I have been doing lately within music. It has been interesting, I'll say. watching the state of music and how it's changing. And like, I'm not even lying, this wave that like Olivia Rodrigo is bringing back around, where like pop punk is becoming, I credit TikTok too, where pop punk is becoming a thing. People just appreciating Hayley Williams for the absolute gem she is. And like, and Avril Lavigne at this point too. It's just something like that I didn't expect to see in my lifetime, but I'm also like super happy that this is happening, because there's so many women that came in that alt scene and stuff that just like deserve this. Deserve that. Thoughts on JoJo's latest music? JoJo's like one of my favorite people to ever exist. She is so good. One of my favorite things is her song with PJ Morton, Say So. God, that's so good. But wait, we talking about JoJo like Leave Get Out JoJo or JoJo Siwa? Let me just clarify real quick. Which JoJo? Because that's we can go in two very different directions with that. Okay, we're talking about Joanna. Joanna is so honest, and I think I what a lot of people don't know is that JoJo was signed to Aaliyah's uncle's music label, and that JoJo was done dirty, but in a crazy way. Like, I don't actually think Blackground music intended to screw her over. I more so think that Blackground like just didn't have their base underneath them. Like, that whole distribution deal thing falling through 3 times is just crazy to me, and it shouldn't have happened. And I think that, whether Aaliyah's uncle, I want to say his name is Larry or Gary Hankerson, should have protected his artists more. But at the same time, like, they were always, their money situation was just so iffy. But I think like a lot of the contract he had JoJo signed was very predatory, and I hope she becomes one of those advocates that like kind of make people reconsider and relook at the rules under which you are allowed to have people and minors sign contracts, because that was not a safe situation for her to be in, like, at all. And I don't appreciate that. But I think the way that she's come out of that, whether that be with the album that she released, I believe was on Atlantic or Warner, I can't remember, that first one, and then she left and then made her own. She made Shamrock Records, which is her own label. I think JoJo is just so resilient and one of my favorite people in music. And Joanna is a great song, and I think that honesty is what helps people resonate with her. And I also think like she's just a great singer, yo. Like, she's just a great singer. Like, I can listen to JoJo sing all day. I've watched every single like song association she's done, and every time I'm just like blown away by JoJo. I have an obsession with fixing this microphone. But every time I'm just obsessed with JoJo and what she does and what she brings to the table. And I would love to see her like have another moment. I would love to see her have another moment, like in pop culture and pop history. I would love to see it. I see why Maya went independent. Honestly, Maya went independent, released her wine, and just was minding her business. And now the girl's got so much money. Like, the girl's swimming in dough now. And we haven't heard like big time from Maya in a while. And that's why I think like independence works for a lot of people. Not everybody, but it works for a lot of people. If you're willing to put in the time, energy, effort, and you're really willing to cultivate a solid fan base, it works. It works, like, in all facets, music, entertainment, anything. Like, for all intents and purposes, if this podcast goes well, I am going to try to stay the most independent podcaster there is. I don't really want to sign to a network or anything like that. I want to stay independent with everything I do. I want to own everything I do, because it's my hard work. And JoJo absolutely appreciates Black music in a non-colonizer way. And I think that's why so many Black people are so quick to work with her and are so quick to just like want to be around JoJo, because you can tell that like she just genuinely loves to sing, and she loves to make music, and she loves to just like make people happy with her voice. And I just think about like her crazy rise. Like she was the youngest person on the Hot 100 to have a #1 hit. She was 13 when Leave came out, and to sound like that at 13 is nuts. As y'all see, I can ramble all day about JoJo, but to have a hit, to have a moment like that, that's crazy, bro. That's nuts. That is nuts. All right, what other questions y'all have? Like I said, I'm going to keep this up for as long as I can until Darren comes back. Cause hey,
oh my God, I don't know. First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, good. Because I'm like,
woo.
I was going through. I don't know how long I'm going to be back.
No, it's cool.
We gotta wrap everything up. So we just last minute questions before we go ahead and end this stream, because I think. Yeah. I don't know what happened. It was a Wi-Fi problem. It just completely turned off. We're gonna.
Oh my gosh! No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out, honey. Anytime
you want me to come back, I'll come back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, for sure. This was so much fun. I always love, like I said, I don't give people outside of TikTok the chance to really get to know me that well. And I feel like going onto other people's platforms is that chance for people to get to know me. So I will always come back and do these things because my content will stay my content, but y'all can always come to other people's things and see my personality because it's very big and crazy. So
yes, and I was hearing it. I was like, well, let me see. You done took over, so let me just see what's going on.
No, legit. I was over here talking about JoJo. Like, y'all give me some material. Like, I was not ready. But
your first day podcast.
Okay, I was like, wait. I see someone asked, did I listen to Zendaya's album? I absolutely did, and I absolutely think Zendaya is a great actress.
Yeah. Zendaya's pretty good. I mean, a lot of people. That was another conversation on TikTok too about like, they're always casting Zendaya and not like darker skin.
Zendaya, Amanda Stenberg, and Yara Shahidi. Yeah, those three. Yeah. They do. But at the same time, I'm gonna give Zendaya and Amanda their credit. They can act. And the only reason why I'm about disappointed in Amanda and that whole thing is because Amanda said she would purposely try not to take roles from darker skinned women. And then she went and got this role, or they went and got this role that was in a book that was intended for dark skinned women. So she's on my, I don't know about that list, but as far as Zendaya and her music, I'll listen to Replay every day.
Oh, I love Replay.
That's my song. I love that song.
Right.
But Zendaya's a great actress, and it should stay that way.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you so much for joining. I cannot, thank you enough. You've definitely, this is the first time I've seen a live stream that was actually interactive. I know this is mostly your followers listening. My subscribers and listeners will probably y'all be hearing a replay, honey. Okay. But, it's all cool. I loved all the interactions, and we got to actually read out comments and stuff like that. So it was a first for me, Oh
yeah, no.
Yeah,
I thank y'all for supporting. If you came through and you asked questions and stuff, I appreciate y'all. Y'all be riding hard for me, and gang.
Well, guys, until next time, I am your host, Darren Green, and this was an episode of The Darren Green Show. See you on Friday.